Everyone, welcome to the Growers Direct flash sale with our insanely cheap plants. Chris is going to kick it off for us. What's happening today, Chris, with the Growers Direct flash sale?
There's never been a sale like this before. What it is, sometimes you go around to your mate's place for a barbecue and you say, look at this Toyota here. They normally cost $10,000 and I got it for $2,000 because I got a special in down at the dealership down there. And they did it for $2,000, and you think, my God, I've never had a deal like that before in my life, Or you're around at your girlfriend's place and said, look at my new washing machine, only $100, and it looks fantastic, goes like a rocket, washes things twice as quick. Well, what I've done is I've gone out to the growers and I said, I want to get, for Easter, people are getting ready for Easter, they need plants for Easter. I want to give people deals that they want to boast to their mates about. So you can pick up some, so if you're putting a garden together this Easter, you can buy from this Grower Direct flash sale, and every single product has been selected so that you can get it and you can say, look at this bush here. They're normally $20, but I got it for $8 at the Grower Direct flash sale because I've got an in with Chris, So basically, this is your chance to get an in with me and get your stuff so cheap that you'll be able to boast to your friends about it. So let's start showing them.
Let's get into it, yeah.
Let's get into
our first product here, Rufus.
Now what we've done is we've divided this into sections, and this is someone hasn't put the sections on here. This is the
extremely cheap category.
Yeah, so we're starting off, we've got the extremely cheap category.
Yeah, then we got the crazy cheap.
Then we've got the
crazy cheap snacks.
Yeah, then we've got the crazy cheap category.
Then you got stupid.
And then you've got to hang in for this stupidly cheap. And what is my partner gets? She reckons I do things so cheap, I'm stupid, and so we've made an actual stupidly cheap category. And you want to hang in for that stupidly cheap category. But right now
what's the last category though? The last one's the best. Can you remember it, Chris?
No, what's the last category?
It's the mind-bendingly cheap.
Oh yes, and there's the ones that it's incomprehensible. It's absolutely mind-bendingly cheap. If you think about how did they do it for that price, or why did they do it for that price, you'll bend your mind.
Now just hang in there, guys. We're just having some technical difficulties with one of our cameras on the social platforms. We're just getting that back up and running. So just if you're viewing us there, I'm sure you can hear us, but we're just trying to get the...
So the four categories,
the four categories are those. And I think, we'll just give us a sec,
Chris. Run me back through those categories again.
It begins with the extremely cheap, which is what we have right now.
We're going to start off with extremely cheap. It's sort of a progressive thing, and then we go to the crazy cheap.
That's it.
And then after the crazy cheap, we go to the insanely cheap, isn't it?
The stupidly cheap.
The stupidly cheap. We go to the stupidly cheap. And then last of all, there's the mind-bendingly cheap.
Your favourite, Chris?
My favourite is the mind-bendingly cheap.
All right, now guys, we are having some difficulty. Looks like Chris is having a bit of a fit on our cameras here, but that's okay. We're going good on TikTok here. So if you can't hang in there on the other platforms, you can be more than welcome. They'll probably hate me for saying this, but you can join us over on TikTok. Okay, looks like our cameras are back up on the other platforms.
So go back from TikTok to your other platform now.
And they're all going to... All right, let's get stuck into it. Let's go.
Okay, so let's start off. We're starting off here, and what we've got is the big red kangaroo paw. Now, these are normally they're normally $19, and we've got them for $13.99.
Oh, now I'm told they're the Rufus, apparently. Is that the same thing?
Rufus, they've changed the Rufus, right. So they've changed the Rufus. So this is one of your tissue cultured top quality ones. They normally sell for nearly $20, and these are $13.99. And what's good about it, some of your kangaroo paws grow into monsters. Your Rufus only grows, sort of like a bit over knee high,
Perfect.
So it's not tiny, but it's a nice miniature kangaroo paw that anybody could fit in their garden. And for 4 or 5 months of the year, you're going to have these beautiful, rich red flowers.
Lovely, so, and they're reduced from
$18.99 to $13.99.
Great. All right, let's get the next product up there. And we've got a few questions rolling in. Someone asked, how do you buy, by the way? So all it is, products are currently available online at hellohelloplants.com.au.
Yeah. So
or actually, so just quickly, I just want to say, head to the tutuguru.com.au.
Yeah.
We can, you'll find the banner for this. Click on that and go in. All the products are there right now. You can purchase them.
Or you can drive down to Hello in Campbellfield, walk through the door and start buying. Just come in and start buying, or you can ring up and buy over the telephone. We've got a whole panel of people there ready to take your call.
Yeah,
or you go online and buy it at hellohello.com.au or the tutuguru.com.au. Now the next one here, Dichondra Silver Falls in a 6-inch pot, reduced from $14.99 to $10.99. Now these are a beautiful, versatile plant, really wonderful plant. You can use them to make a silver ground cover. You can use them in a hanging basket. You can use them to... I had a couple come in and they bought a big pot before and they put a big bay tree standard in it, and we planted one of these underneath just to cascade over the side of the pot and cover the bottom of the pot with silver. So this would be one of our most popular plants, normally $14.99, now $10.99.
Beautiful. Really, let's get our next product up there. So that's the Silver Dichondra. And then someone asked, do we answer plant questions? We'll do our best. We've got 100 products to get through.
Every Monday. Every
Monday we do a live Q&A with Chris at 12 p.m. So you can come along there for gardening questions. The other quick one here, we'll just quickly answer.
I've even been solving a few personal problems. Yes, you can ask me any sort of question on Monday.
I don't know about that. Skyo asked, do you sell soil mixes? Yes, we do. We have plenty of different kinds of soil mixes. So you're more than welcome to join us in store 1477 Sydney Road, Camfield. All right, let's look at this next product here.
Now, ginkgo trees. Now, I've heard that if you eat the ginkgo leaf, it can actually improve your memory. Very good for you. Problem is, I keep forgetting to take it. But anyway, there's your ginkgo tree. Beautiful tree. These have been growing on our planet since prehistoric times. These were around in the times of the dinosaur, and they are a beautiful tree that doesn't get too big too quickly. Fabulous golden autumn colour, and really, really lovely tree. Beautiful look to it, lovely foliage, and I think these have the brightest gold autumn colour of any tree. Now normally they're quite expensive. These ones here are around about 1 metre tall, and they'd be cheap if we were selling them for the $59.99 recommended price, but we're doing them for $20 off. They're $39.99, so $39.99 for a 1 metre tall ginkgo tree.
Yeah, there you go.
Check that out anywhere. That is very, very cheap. What type of cheap is it again?
We're in extremely cheap.
Yeah, so that's extremely cheap. $39.99 for a 1 metre tall ginkgo tree.
All right, so limited quantities, and someone asked, can you order these, or how do you order these? I think we've answered that already, but I'll say it again. We'll get the next product up. So head over to tutuguru.com.au.
Yeah, tutuguru or hellohello.com.au. Or get on the blower. Just order them.
Get on the plugger.
Yeah,
0393593331.
This is Hydrangea Sundae Fraise. Now this is the most sought after hydrangea. It has beautiful, when these are mature, the flowers are going to be the size of big balloons, great big balloons like that. Flower for months and months and months. And this is one of the only hydrangeas that's sun hardy. This one, so if you've been wanting to get that Hamptons look, but you've got a sunny front yard, this is the hydrangea for you. Now the problem with this hydrangea, some nurseries are selling them for $50. We normally sell them for $39.99. They're a little bit pricey, but right now the crazily cheap price is $29.99. So $29.99 for a Sundae Fraise hydrangea, the sun hardy, most beautiful hydrangea. Now as we get, these start off white around Christmas, and by the time you get to Mother's Day, they're a beautiful deep pink.
Beautiful
Plant.
Absolutely fantastic. So down to $29.99 on those. All right, here's our next product.
Yeah, now here's something that's really, really cheap. An orange tree for $15.99. So $15.99, and it's a dwarf orange. So if you're after a small fruit tree, say you've got a small backyard and you want a small fruit tree, these dwarf oranges are only 15, reduced from $19.99 to $15.99. So
that's incredible.
And what's great about this, these are dwarf hydrangeas, and they're the Washington Navel. Now, what I want to say about Washington, if I was going to grow, if I lived south of the Divide, like I lived in Melbourne or Colac or anywhere south of the Divide, and I wanted to grow an orange, there's only one orange that I would buy. Have you ever seen an orange tree in Melbourne and you pick an orange off and it's as sour as a lemon? Oh, yeah, these definitely. Ones here ripen late, and they utilise the full summer, and they suck up all this, and these will give you the sweetest and best lemon you can, sweetest and best orange you could possibly have, sweetest and best orange south of the Divide. So in a cool coastal climate, this is the orange to have. And what's good about this is the dwarf version of it. So if you just want to grow one in a pot or grow one in a little backyard, this is your little dwarf orange, and it's the Washington Navel, which is the best orange for Melbourne.
Absolutely beautiful. All right, let's move on to our next product in the Growers Direct Flash Sale. So yes, we are getting a few questions here. We're doing our best to keep on top. We do have to get through 100 products here today. You can order any of these at the 22guru.com.au or hellohello.com.au. We have a question here. Do you ship to rural New South Wales?
We can.
And where are we located as well?
We're in Campbellfield, and Campbellfield's not far from Tullamarine Airport, if you want to understand where we look in terms of the whole state. And people come from all over. People come from all over Victoria, and even some from interstate to shop here. Like, I'm amazed at how far people come to shop here, and it's because we're probably the best stock nursery and one of the cheapest retail nurseries anywhere in Victoria and even interstate. And we can ship pallet lots of plants. We do basically for interstate. Our vans don't go interstate much, but we do postal little tiny bits and pieces, like one of those oranges trees could go in the post, no worries. Or we ship stuff in pallet lots. So if you were in New South Wales somewhere and you wanted a whole garden lot, you could buy your whole garden lot. We pack it up on a pallet and ship it out to you, no worries.
All right, there you go.
Now, English box. Now, nice big bushy English box can cost a fortune. These ones here are reduced from, our normal price is $16.99. Right now they're $9.99. So $9.99. Now, what's good about these? You push these up together. Like if you planted 5 of these to the metre and gave them a little trim, you'd have an instant English box hedge. And then with the spring growth, it would look absolutely fabulous. So if you planted this now, gave it a little trim, planted 5 per metre, and that's $50 a metre. And say you've got a beautiful house and you're going to put it on the market in spring. This English box hedges are the way to dress it up in Melbourne, and these are the ones. This is the price bracket, $9.99 for an 8-inch pot English box.
Perfect. Yep, absolutely great. So they're reduced from $16.99, and we're actually on our crazy cheap category now, aren't we, Chris?
Yes, we are.
Roll along.
And at any rate, these ones here, anywhere else, this is your Sublime lily pilly. This is one of the most sought after lily pillies and one of the hardest to get lily pillies around. And I think most nurseries expect to pay $40 for something like that. Our normal price on this is $39.99, so we're about $40 too. So anyway, but right now these are $17.99. So $17.99 right now. Now that's absolutely fact. Now the reason why you'd buy a Sublime lily pilly is, first of all, these don't have. A lot of people don't like the red tips on some of the lily pillies. These have lime green tips, beautiful lime green tips. They're frost hardy, and not only that, there's some beetles decimating the lily pilly hedges all over Melbourne. These little terrible beetles, hard to get rid of. They need very poisonous sprays to get rid of them. This one here is beetle proof. It's psyllid proof. It doesn't get the psyllid, they're the little bumps. It doesn't get the beetles. The frost doesn't knock it. Really, really fabulous lily pilly, and it doesn't have. It looks very classy because it's sort of dark green and light green combo.
Beautiful.
So, and for $17.99,
that's crazy cheap. Yeah, for that.
$17.99. It probably should be in the mind bending section.
Well, yeah, it's almost mind bendingly cheap, isn't it? We're only in crazy cheap. Still 2 more cheaper categories to go. We're watching the Growers Direct Flash Sale of what's the title of this flash sale again? It's the one you want to boast to your mates about, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. What it is, this is the sort of, and this is the best example. Now we sell this Granny Smith apple here for $16. Now that's pretty cheap. You could easily pay $40 or $50 for a Granny Smith apple, but we sell them for $15.99. Yeah. Now that's cheap, right?
Yeah.
But let's
that already seems crazy cheap.
Yeah, but you're going to be able to say to your mates, look, here's my apple tree. Look at this apple tree here. I bought this for $10.99. Imagine being able to buy an apple tree And you could be sitting out there in the backyard, you could be eating an apple and your mate comes around and says, look at this big apple tree here. I know Chris, you know, and I got it off Chris and I got it for $10.99.
That's
and
nuts.
he'll go, my God, I've never got a deal like that in my life.
There's only a few of those available, guys.
So this is the sort of deal that you could boast to your mates about.
Someone just mentioned their mind is bent on the online. Fantastic. All right, let's keep going here.
Yeah. Now, this. Have a look at this. I'm 6'2", which is about 1.8 meters, I think. Anyway, I'm 6'2", and have a look at this beautiful. Can you see that?
Might need to come across that way just for the other viewers. Yeah. Come across.
Or should I come up?
Yeah, come up. I think that's going to work better. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 6'2". This one here, this is about 4'8". At any rate, this is a Little Gem Magnolia. Now, most nurseries,
that'd be like $130 at most.
Yeah, 130, 140, 150 bucks for something approaching 5 foot. And so, and it's a beautiful, bushy, healthy one. It's not a reject or anything like that. But what it is, the grower just would like to clear a few of them, and these are 50 bucks. So imagine you plant a hedge of these. You plant a hedge of these, and your mate comes around and said, how can you afford to have a whole hedge of those expensive evergreen magnolias? And you say, I've got an in with Chris, and I got them for $49.99.
Yeah,
hardly paid anything for them.
Yeah, imagine that. You could just have a whole hedge of, you know.
And your mate will be devastated.
Fortune worth of Magnolia Little Gem hedge.
Yeah. Yeah, and your place could look like $1 million mansion because you stocked up on those Little Gem Magnolias at $49.99.
Absolutely. Now, we are getting quite a few questions through. We do appreciate the likes. Keep them coming and share this live if you can as well. It does help others discover these incredible deals. I do want to just quickly mention we are getting some questions, but we may have to leave those to the live Q&A on Monday at 12 p.m.
Yeah.
Just because we can't get to them all. Although there is a shipping related one. I might just quickly ask what is the pot size that can be mailed? Not a pallet. I think it's up to 6, is it? Or
on a pallet?
No, you could do about mailed. I think it's through Oz Post.
Oz Post is it's under 3 foot. It's under 3 foot. And then on your pallet, it's up to about 6 foot.
Okay, so like it doesn't matter pot size though. Size. Okay, cool. Just the size of the actual length of the plant. Yeah.
Now this one here is called straight and narrow, and but I always think it should have been called the pencil pilly. So basically this is your lily pilly that grows like a pencil pine. It's very, very dense, beautiful dense foliage, lovely plant. And if you've got a skinny garden bed and you want something tall and skinny, now at your local nursery these will be costing you 40 bucks, and in actual fact it's kind of terrible. We actually charge 40 bucks from here too. But anyway, so 40 bucks.
Wow.
And they're quite expensive to buy, even in a small size. But right now we've got them for $19.99. So when your mate comes around and says you've got a nice row of these sort of pencil pillies, lovely skinny lily pillies, beautiful plants, and you'll say I've got these for $19.99.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good on that.
Yeah.
All right, let's move along to our next product here. So we're in the crazy cheap category. We haven't even got to the other stuff yet.
Yeah. So now, this is your Firescreen lily pilly. Look at this, your Firescreen lily pilly, a fabulous lily pilly. Now this is really good. The beetles don't eat it. The psyllids don't put little lumps in it. It'll take a reasonable whack of frost. Now it's also been found that if you plant a thick hedge of this out in the bush somewhere, it resists burning. It resists the fire. So the fire, you can protect your house by planting this around your house. And so this is your Firescreen lily pilly, and it's a hard one to get, and normally we sell them for $32.99, and right now we've got them $19.99. Now have a look, I'm 6'2", and it's up to my nose. Look at that. It's up to my nose. So $19.99, and it's definitely 5 foot. Once you plant this in the ground, it'll be 5 foot tall.
And you can make a really lovely hedge with those as well, can't you?
Yeah, and this is one for there's people that don't like the red tips, and then there's people that have to have the red tips. And this one here has the beautiful, when it starts growing in spring and when it grows again in summer, beautiful red tips. So it's frost hardy. It's frost hardy, it's beetle hardy, it's
gives you a tropical, like something next to a swimming pool would look good, wouldn't it? This.
Yeah.
All right, let's move along to our next product here on the Growers Direct Flash Sale. All these products are limited quantity. You can order them right now, hellohello.com.au, the tutuguru.com.au.
So here we have, look at this beautiful red ball here.
Yeah, let's have
here we have the This is your Shaina Standard. Now, if you love a colourful maple, but you want to have a beautiful colourful maple that doesn't grow too big, maybe you want to grow it in a pot, maybe you've got a little garden bed, and these are normally, like at most stores, these are normally hundreds of dollars. Our normal price is $149.99. And $149.99 for a grafted Japanese maple in a 12-inch pot is really, really cheap. But today, $119.99. So $119.99. This one's going to be beautifully red in spring, beautifully red in summer, and beautifully red in autumn. And it's going to develop that beautiful, thick, like as it develops, it won't become big. It'll just become very thick and bushy. A very thick, bushy ball on a stick. Great for a pot, great for a small garden bed. Shaina Standard, $119.99.
Reduced from 150, that's right. And the Growers Direct Flash Sale, looking at the crazy cheap categories, all of these plants are available to order right now.
Yeah, now this is Magnolia Exmouth. Now this is the magnolia that they bred the little gem from. Now how does this compare to a little gem? I call it the big gem. So if your mate's just got little gems in his garden, you can put in big gems. Now what big gems do is that they grow faster, they grow bushier, and they grow bigger than a little gem. So if you want a big, beautiful magnolia, and then what happens with your big gem or your Exmouth magnolia is that in summer, all through the warm weather, it'll have enormous big white flowers, enormous, much bigger than my hand, enormous big white flowers that open out in the summer, and it'll fill your yard with fragrance. I visited a customer one summer's night this year, and we were walking beside his pool, and he had 2 or 3 of these what I call big gems or Exmouth there, and the whole garden all around through the pool everywhere was just filled with the most beautiful magnolia fragrance. Magnolia give off the most beautiful fragrance, so it gives off more fragrance. It's bigger, it's bushier, and it's faster. Great for a hedge or a screen, great for a shade tree.
What are they reduced down to?
And anyway, they're reduced from $36.99 to $19.99. So for
Amazing.
An evergreen magnolia with beautiful summer flowers, fantastic at $19.99, Magnolia Exmouth.
Excellent. Now we are getting a lot of questions here on the live, but you can call us on 039359 3331. Our sales staff are on standby to answer your questions right now about these plants. You can order them right now at these crazy prices. They are in limited quantities.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have...
Okay, I've just been doing a garden design, and for the hedge in the garden design, we use the Tom Thumb for this particular garden design. Now the reason why we used it is that these people in hot country up in northern Victoria, hot country, the English box have been dying off, and also boxes tend to discolour in the frost in the winter. Your Tom Thumb is twice as tough as an English box, it's twice as fast growing, it's beautiful, stays beautiful green all year, it won't discolour or turn strange colours, and at any rate, these are normally $19.99 and they've been reduced to $10.99, so $10.99. And if you plant 4 of these to the metre, give them a little trim, by springtime you'll have a beautiful formal style hedge, and this is the toughest hedge. You know, like this is the one that generates the least complaints in our business. So it's Tom Thumb, very, very tough, very beautiful green hedge.
Yeah, and that suits the crazy cheap category at $10.99, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So we're in the crazy cheap category now, are we?
Yeah, we've been in crazy cheap for a little bit.
Okay, so now we've got the 6-inch Isabella. Now, anywhere you go, Isabella has a beautiful pink flower. It's one of your smaller growing liriopes. Great way to fill up your garden. And normally they're a $14, $15 line. We normally sell them for $15.99. And these ones here are $9.99. Beautiful, healthy plants, nice thick bushy clumps. Nothing wrong with them. They're not being sold because they're crook or anything like that. They're just part of the Grower Direct Flash Sale at only $9.99.
That's right, reduced from $15.99. Crazy cheap at the moment as part of the Grower Direct Flash Sale. Yeah. All of these plants are orderable right now in limited quantities, though, so you need to be quick.
Yeah. Now this is one of our most popular plants. This is your lime lava, and if you wanted to get an instant effect, you can grow these in a pot. You can grow them. You can grow these in a pot. You can grow them in the garden. They're a beautiful, lush green ground cover. They love the sun, and at any rate, these are normally $39.99. But these are an advanced size. We have smaller, cheap ones. But if you want to get an instant effect in the garden, These ones here, normally $39.99, are now $21.99. So $21.99, great for an instant effect in the garden.
Awesome.
Maybe you're doing up a property to sell, you want it to look fantastic.
Now, if we don't get to your question today, guys, our sales staff are on standby. You can call them at any time, 03 9359 3331, or you can just head over to our website. There's a wealth of knowledge there, hellohelloplants.com.au or the22guru.com.au.
Now what we've got here is a beautiful little dwarf Eureka lemon, normally $19.99. Now I love the Eureka lemon. Eureka lemons don't have too many thorns. Like when I was a kid, my mum said, get out and pick a couple of lemons, you know, and I had to go out and pick them, and the tree was covered in thorns, and you'd end up pricking yourself just picking the lemons. But your Eureka lemon has very few thorns. It doesn't have too thick a skin, like it hasn't got a real thick skin. It's not a thin skin, but it's not a too thick a skin. The beautiful bit of yellow rind that you can use on it. But the best thing about a Eureka lemon is that if you live south of the Divide, these grow the best of any lemons, and they produce lemons all year round once established. So if you're after a miniature lemon, maybe you want to grow it in a pot, here's your Eureka lemon, and it's only $15.99. So $15.99, and you'll have beautiful lemons all year round for $15.99.
Crazy cheap fruit trees, $15.99.
Crazy cheap.
All right,
And
next
then-
up, what's this?
Then there you've got your Tahitian lime. Now,
What are they going for now,
yeah,
Chris?
now if you enjoy a Corona when you get home from work, there's nothing like slicing up your Tahitian
Some people
lime
might hate
and
Corona.
whacking a little slice of it into your Corona. You just can't beat it.
Hashtag not sponsored, hey?
Yeah, but also the other thing is, I reckon, I love making a bit of guacamole with the avocado, and I reckon that lime in your avocado rather than lemon juice absolutely kills the lemon. Like, it's so much better to have lime with your avocado and so anyway, great thing to have limes. And these are the Tahitian limes, do great in Melbourne, produce lots and lots of fruit, and these have been reduced from $19.99 to $15.99. So $15.99 for a lime tree. Most places you'd be paying $50-60 for a lime tree. These are crazy cheap.
Crazy cheap fruit trees. Only a few of those available too, at that price.
Now here we've got Moon Bay Nandina, and this is crazy cheap. These, anywhere you'd be paying $12, $14, $15. Our normal price is $12.99. These are $7.49. Beautiful, healthy, lush plants. If you're planning a garden project this Easter, you know, you can't go wrong with mass planting these at $7.49. These are Moon Bay Nandina, $7.49.
And they're about to go in the colour, aren't they, with the
yes,
deep
that's
reds
right.
and stuff?
What happens with these, when the winter frost comes and the cold comes, these turn beautiful shades of oranges and reds and burgundies.
Lovely. All right, let's move along. So they're $7.49 each at the moment. That's crazy cheap. Next.
Okay, so here we have Lime Tough Lomandra. These are normally $16.99. These have been reduced to $10.99. So $10.99 for Lime Tough Lomandra. Now, what's great about your Lime Tough? A lot of grasses, you can plant them and they look terrific, and then summer comes and they produce seed and they turn brown and kind of look like some sort of garbage. Anyway, these ones here, even in the toughest place, like in a roundabout in the middle of Shepparton or Bendigo or somewhere like that, these ones here will remain green all year round. They don't produce seeds, they don't produce anything you have to chop off or anything like that. They just stay green and lush. They grow a bit taller than knee height. They grow about that sort of height like that. So they don't get too big. They're green and lush, great healthy plants. Really good for, you know, if you've got a farm or you've got a commercial property or something like that, or a rental property, and you want something green and lush. And in fact, what's really good, when people come in here with a rental property and they want something really tough, I often sell, we just did the Nandina, I'll often sell them Nandina and Lime Tough to mix together.
To mix it up, yeah. Great.
Yeah, really
so they're
good.
$10.99.
$10.99, yeah.
Reduced from $16.99. Great. Let's go to our next product here.
Here's a fantastic deal. This is your Fairy White, and this is crazily cheap, the Fairy White Magnolia. Now, this is an exotic evergreen magnolia, and these got little buds on them. These are going to be covered in spring with beautiful white flowers that are fabulously fragrant. My daughter's got a hedge of them around her garden, and in springtime when it comes into flower, people come and knock on the door and say, whatever is that magnolia you've got around there? So these are great for a hedge. And the thing is, at the price we're selling them for, normally these are $34.99. We've got them for $24.99, crazily cheap. $24.99, and you could afford to plant a hedge of these. If you're doing a hedge, you'd plant them about 1.2 meters apart. It's a fast-growing, hardy, evergreen magnolia. In springtime, you'll be blessed with this incredible mass flowering of beautiful white fragrant flowers. And only $24.99. And look at them, they're the best part of a meter tall.
Yeah. All right, great. So we're still going through crazy cheap. We're about to get to the stupidly cheap category.
Yeah, so stay tuned, because you've heard the crazy cheap.
Yeah.
Next comes the
stupidly cheap. And then after that, it goes into another level.
Yeah, we go up to the next level.
The mind-bending cheap is coming up, mind-bendingly cheap.
Yeah, now this is your lemon lime Nandina. Now, these have really taken off. They're one of the hottest selling Nandinas around, and in most stores you'll pay $24, $25 for a little tiny 6-inch pot, but here we've got the 8-inch pot, normally $29.99. We've reduced it to $22.99. So $22.99, and these ones here, they grow about 45 centimeters wide, 45 centimeters tall, and they're really classy. If you've got a beautiful green garden and you want that green look, beautiful, classy Nandina.
Is it when you want a Nandina but you don't want red, right?
Yeah, this is the Nandina that you have when you don't want red.
Perfect, all right.
And,
so
and $22.99.
Yeah. So this is all part of the Growers Direct flash sale. You can order any of these plants right now. They are in limited quantities, so you do need to be quick, and this sale only lasts for a week. So if the quantities last, you still need to jump on it because it's only for a limited time as well.
Yeah. So here, what we've got here is we've got the Pocahontas Cordyline. Now, a lot of Cordylines, what happens when the cold winter comes, they turn yellow and brown on the tips and they can look quite ugly. Your Pocahontas is famous for having a rich burgundy colour, and for that burgundy colour staying intact all through the winter. So this is the one that preserves its colour and grows like a little sort of purple kind of palm tree. Beautiful. And this is a way that anybody can get some beautiful colour in their garden, and this will give you colour 365 days a year. Pocahontas, and
what are they reduced from?
$8. They're reduced from $12.99 to $8.99.
That's it. So if you need a bunch of those, they don't do the palm tree thing you said, right? Those ones.
They do. These will turn into beautiful little purple palm trees.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay. All right, what have we got next in our
Okay, so what we've got is the Silver Sheen Pittosporum. Now, Silver Sheen Pittosporums are one of the... Now, these aren't spongy ones. These are about 50 centimetres tall. And
really bushy.
Yeah, really bushy, really beautiful, absolutely top quality. And they're going out for pretty much the wholesale price of $7.99. That's GST inclusive. Look at that, $7.99. Beautiful Silver Sheen Pittosporums. Reduced from $12.99 to $7.99.
And that's including GST too, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, and you plant these 90 centimeters to a meter apart, and if you put them in a bit of good soil, keep them watered and fertilized, you can grow a 1.5 meter hedge in 1 year. So that's why they're really good if you want to, really get that hedging going quickly. And at $7.99, you can afford a big long hedge.
That's right, we're just moving over to our next category now. So we're in the stupidly cheap category. This is all part of the Growers Direct flash sale. You can order any of these plants online at the tutuguru.com.au or hellohelloplants.com.au, or you can simply visit us. We're in Camberfield, 1477 Sydney Road, Camberfield. You can come in right now, check out any of these plants. They are limited quantities though, so keep that in mind. Or you can call us.
So here we've got the Natchez Crepe Myrtle, normally $26.99, which is kind of a pretty good price that we sell them for, but now they're down to $19.99. So $19.99. Now the Natchez Crepe Myrtle is fast growing. I use them all the time in my garden designs. Beautiful full tree. And then what you've got in the heat of summer, you've got this beautiful white blossom that lasts for weeks and weeks and weeks, and not long after the white blossoms finish, they start to turn. You can see these ones are just starting to turn now, and they get a beautiful burgundy and red and orange, beautiful autumn colour. So, and then when they grow, they grow multi-trunk. They'll have beautiful bark with lovely patterns on them. So they're very, very aesthetic tree, beautiful in a modern garden. And only $19.99, and they're a metre tall. They're a decent sort of a tree for $19.99. They're fantastic.
Absolutely, it's the stupidly cheap category now. You wouldn't find Natchez Crepe Myrtle at that price any other time. So if you want to jump on these, limited quantities, but get them at the Growers Direct flash sale happening right now.
Yeah, now I went to the show this year. I went to the International Flower and Garden Show. At any rate, if I was to pick a trend there, it was birthday candles. They were in every other garden, every other thing that I saw there. And what it is, they have beautiful little orange sort of bottle brush kind of flowers. And they're low growing, spreading kind of an evergreen. Absolutely fabulous. I use them almost every day in my garden designs. Fabulous plant. And normally they're hard to buy. Even if you've got the money, you can't even buy them. But right now we've got them reduced from $34.99 to $19.99, and they're good little bushy plants. I'll give you a look at one there. So
yeah,
$19.99.
Very in vogue at the moment. That's for sure.
And 12 months from now, this will be sporting beautiful orange flowers and be a real little showpiece.
Absolutely. All right. So reduced from $34.99 to $19.99. That Growers Direct flash sale. Very popular plants indeed.
Yeah, and we're now in the stupidly cheap.
Yeah, we're in stupidly cheap.
So we're in the stupidly cheap section.
Things are going a bit mental
now,
down here.
Here we've got the Dianella Tas Red Flax Lily, and these are one of those ones that you go down to your local nursery. They're 16, they're 18 bucks. They're a bit pricey, but these ones here. Is this a typo? It says $8.99.
Yeah, that's not a typo, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. So
luckily, there's only a few of those available, so you need to act quick at that price.
But anyway, these are the Tas Red, and what happens? They get sort of a red when they establish. They get a nice red base on the red base on them.
Lovely.
They have a lovely wide leaf. Great for the native garden. Great for the sort of tough commercial kind of garden. And at $8.99, which I think is a typo, but we're going to run with it. It is stupidly cheap. It's $8.99.
Yeah,
so
that's really crazy. All right, let's move along to the next product here.
So here we have the very, very sexy Grevillea Covergirl. And so anyway, have a look at this. These are beautiful big Grevilleas, and I'll bring you up close on the label. These have magnificent red flowers. Have a look at that there. Beautiful red flowers. Yep. Lovely sort of silvery foliage. Now you'd normally expect to pay $16.99. These are $8.99. So I would expect to pay $16.99. Some nurseries will charge you $20 for it, but you'll be able to boast to your friends because you got these for $8.99. So
yes,
absolutely.
That's right. And for those of you that might miss out, you can come into the store now. Like we've got customers already. They're already coming off the shelves. So you got to be quick. These plants at these prices won't last long. You could pop in here this weekend and you could buy a heap of this stuff. You get on the phone and buy it.
That's it. Now, here we have...
Oh, wait, did we give the price on Covergirl? Yeah, we did. $8.99.
$8.99 for the Covergirl.
Yeah.
Now, here we've got Lagerstromeia Canopy. And anyway, Lagerstromeia Canopy, it's a new one out. Beautiful pink flowers and fabulous burgundy autumn colour. And anyway, you can get this for $15.99. Now what's good about that, it's a new release. It's something that's just out on the market, and we've got it. I reckon most places you'd be paying over $25 for this. We've got it for $15.99 for the Lagerstromeia Canopy.
Beautiful. All right, there you go. That's reduced from $24.99 to $15.99 as part of the Growers Direct flash sale. All right, let's get our next product up here.
Right, so here we've got one of the most popular gardenias. Now this is a strong growing one. It's called Magnifica. Now it's called Magnifica because it has big strong foliage. It's a big strong plant and it has a big white fragrant flower. Now if you wanted to grow a bit of a hedge or border, or you wanted a nice big gardenia, say you wanted a nice big gardenia that grew 1.5 meters tall, this is the one for you. This is called Magnifica. Now normally you could pay $30-40 for something this big. Our normal price on these is $29.99, but right now we're doing these for $16.99. So $16.99
at the moment. All right, there you go. Yeah. As part of the Growers Direct flash sale, we are getting a few questions through. We may have to miss them this time around. Maybe we can answer this one here. Is any of these toxic for dogs or cats?
What we can do is just check with the staff if you're buying something, and they can look it up on the internet and tell you whether it's toxic or not.
In fact, just if you have any questions right now, you can give us a call on 03 9359 3331, and any of our sales staff will be able to help you with any and all of your questions regarding these plants in the sale today. They are limited quantities. You do need to hurry if you do want to purchase them. You can do it online right now at the 22guru.com.au or hellohelloplants.com.au.
Yeah, now one of the most popular hedges in Melbourne is the Weeping Lily Pilly. Now the Weeping Lily Pilly is popular because it doesn't have red berry. It almost never has a berry, and if it does have a berry, it's a white berry. It's not going to stain your pavement. It doesn't have red tips. The beetle doesn't eat it. And we sell these by the truckload all over Melbourne, particularly into your posher suburbs. There's the sort of thing people in Brighton and Toorak and that buy these up by the dozen because they're green, they're classy, and they don't have too many problems. But buying a big one can be really expensive. Now this is I think this should have been in the mind-bendingly cheap, but it's in the stupidly cheap section. And it's a Weeping Lily Pilly, 8-inch pot, and they're 5 foot tall, and they've been reduced from $29.99 to $19.99. So $19.99. So if you've been thinking about a lily pilly hedge, you want 5 footers to get started, $19.99. Plant them a metre or 1.2 metres apart. They're fabulous.
Absolutely lovely for a hedge, that's right. And they're very stupidly cheap, I should say, as part of the Growers Direct Flash Sale. If you're enjoying this live today, make sure to leave us a like and share this live far and wide so that others can discover these deals as part of the Growers Direct Flash Sale for these insanely cheap, cheaply priced plants today.
Yeah. Now years ago, the most popular hedge in Melbourne was the Batosrum. And then it came the lily pilly. Now the up and coming hedge, the hedge of the future, is the Viburnum. And there's different sorts of Viburnums. This one here has beautiful rich dark green foliage, very dense, very bushy, very nice, and it has a copper tip. We look at this copper tip here. Now these are normally pretty pricey. Normally they're $30 each for an 8-inch pot, nice bushy one like that. But we've got these right now for $17.99. So $17.99, a copper top Viburnum. At $17.99 you can afford to put in a hedge. Now if you pump these with water and fertiliser, you'll have them up 1.5 metres in a year, 2.5 metres in 2 years. So really fast growing, beautiful, classy looking hedge. And it's a hedge, it's the up and coming hedge.
It's the hedge of the future.
The hedge of the future, so your place will look up to date with a hedge of this in. So
Absolutely
copper top down to $17.99.
And are they fast growing, those ones? Or?
Very fast, 1.5 metres in a year you'll get out of that.
Nice thick bushy hedge. Yeah, that's that is a stupidly cheap price, $17.99 for that size.
Now, here we've got probably the most popular bottle brush in Australia, or callistemon. This is called Kings Park Special. Now, these are big bushy plants. They're fabulous, and these have been reduced from $14.99 to $8.99. So, if you want you're on a bit of property and you want a big bushy hedge in a hurry with lovely red flowers and not too many seeds, and this is a very, very pretty. Pretty callistemon, beautiful red flowers, and not too much seed or anything like that. Lovely, clean looking tree. Like this is a very big bush or a small tree, depending on how you look at it. And they're $8.99. So $8.99, really good value buying.
Beautiful. $8.99.
And you could just come in and buy 1 or 2 of these on the weekend. You could ring up on the phone and you could buy 10 or 20 of them.
And for that size, that's really good at $8.99. It is stupidly cheap on the Growers Direct Flash Sale here today. We're offering you insanely cheap, stupidly cheap products. Head over to the22guru.com.au or hellohelloplants.com.au. You can call us, you can visit us in store. All of these products are available right now. Leave us a like if you're enjoying what Chris is doing here for us today, and share this live far and wide.
Can they leave a love?
They can leave a love instead. Love heart. Leave a love heart.
Yeah.
We appreciate it very much.
Yeah, I could use 1 or 2. And then this is Abelia Kaleidoscope. Now I think this has to be one of my favourite plants. And what I love about this is I love vibrant colour 365 days of the year. Little trim, easy to keep, nicely shaped, fast growing, beautiful bush. Fabulous plant. And normally these can be a bit pricey. You'd easily pay $21.99 at your local nursery. We sell them for $21.99, but right now they're $12.99. $12.99 looks a lot more like the holes. And know that they're not scungy plants. Look at the size of this one here. Just have a look at how big it is.
Yeah, super colourful too.
You're getting a lot for your $12.99. And now grow these as a hedge, grow them as a border. Beautiful plants. Love them.
All right, and then they are now $12.99, reduced from $21.99 in the stupidly cheap category of the Growers Direct Flash Sale this week. Limited quantities do apply.
Now, beautiful big ones of these have always been expensive. These have normally $120, $130, $140. Now you could grow this in a tub, put it as a specimen in the garden. I'll often put these in my garden designs. I'll use them in between magnolias or ornamental pears. Beautiful, classy, low spreading bush and they're kind of like a cross between a ground cover and a bush. Give them a little bit of trim. They'll get 1.5 meters wide. They'll be a beautiful low mound, and then in spring they're covered in glorious spidery pink flowers. Fabulous
yeah, we can see
things.
that behind you there, the spidery pink flowers. That's right.
Our normal price on these big beautiful ones is $110, and right now we're $69.99. So $69.99.
We should have made a category called insanely cheap.
Yeah,
I think that's just bonkers.
Yeah.
Or maybe that should have gone into the mind-bendingly cheap category, that last one.
Now, one of the hardest things to get, there's two main families of persimmon. And what it is, one type of persimmon, it has to decompose slightly before you eat it. And Europeans and Asians developed them so that they have fruit to eat in the winter. And then in more recent years, they've developed varieties you can pick off the tree when they're ripe and eat them straight away. And the most popular one is called Fuyu, and it's beautiful and sweet. But what I love about persimmons is that they have the most beautiful flower in springtime. Then the fruit forms, and as the fruit ripens, they go into autumn colour. So you have this incredible period of time. It's one of the most beautiful fruit trees, possibly the most beautiful fruit tree in the world. You have this time where you've got beautiful
There's a bit of fruit growing on just above you, Chris.
Wow,
there
this one's actually producing fruit. But as they turn into autumn colour, you've got this orange fruit sitting amongst the autumn colour. And it's one of the most beautiful things one of the most aesthetic things you'll ever see in nature. So a persimmon tree is the sort of tree, like I did a garden design for somebody recently, and we put the persimmon tree in the middle of the front yard because we wanted aesthetics and we wanted a fruit tree. Now the thing is that they normally cost $200, $200. These are insanely cheap for $129.99.
Absolutely beautiful. All part of the Growers Direct Flash Sale. Now, we are, of course, getting lots of...
5 foot persimmon, $129.99. Sorry.
It's amazing. I just want to quickly say thank you so much to everyone asking us questions here today. Chris does a live Q&A every Monday at 12 p.m. where you can ask your gardening questions. If you have any questions regarding the sale, though, we do have 100 products to get through today, so it does take us a bit to get through them. You can call us right now on 03 9359 3331. We have a team of sales staff who are there to answer any questions you might have, but unfortunately we can't take up questions during this live, otherwise we'll be here for hours.
Yeah,
so we need to get through this 100 products here as part of the sale, and then you can rewatch this live after we finish on YouTube, and we'll have it all time coded so you can go directly to the product to learn a little bit about it, hear a little story from Chris. I know we're sort of rushing here, but give you an idea of what's happening here today on the sale.
One of the trends that I observed at the Melbourne International Flower and Garden Show is the dwarf black pine. I saw them everywhere down there. And so they're one of the up and coming plants, and they're a beautiful plant. They're a plant that could be trimmed and trained. They've got a lovely texture. You see the little white candles forming here. Very, very beautiful plant. And these are normally pretty pricey. They're normally $199. We've got them right now, good sized plants. These are a dwarf pine. Anybody can fit these in a pot, a bonsai pot, a big pot, in a garden bed. And these are $129.99. I use these when I do garden designs. I use them in the Japanese gardens. They're real classic.
Yeah, there was a few things sort of in vogue at that show, wasn't there? We did notice that. I think tractor seats was another one.
Yeah, tractor seats. Black pine. And black pines. Now here we have a ball. Now everybody's seen English box balls everywhere, but here's a native ball. This is a Westringia Wynyabi gem trimmed up into a ball, and you could plant this, and within a year or so, trim it, let it get a bit bigger. You have a beautiful big ball, and this will give you a kind of a native look with a kind of like a formal native look, or sort of a designer modern look in the garden. And so Westringia ball, they're normally $119. It's $79.99. Great price for a Westringia ball.
Beautiful. Right down to $79.99. That's crazy. And they're in the ball shape already.
Yeah.
All right, this actually it's stupidly cheap, not crazy cheap.
Now let's have a look. Let's have a look at this.
See if we can see this here.
Now what we've got here is a great garden classic. Now this is the Hiryu. This is Hiryu Sasanqua Camellia, and this one here is well over 2 meters. I'm 1.8 meters, and have a look. It's towering above me. And this is a Hiryu Sasanqua Camellia. Now that's going to flower for the next 3 months. It's just started flowering in the last week or so. Beautiful, vivid, sort of reddy pink flower. But this is great as a hedge. If you want to block something out, what's great about Hiryu, you can see the growth on it this year. Beautiful, strong growth. They're a really strong growing plant, very strong growing plant, and great if you wanted a tall, narrow hedge with beautiful flowers in autumn right through to midwinter. Hiryu Camellia, and these ones here, 2.4 meters tall, and reduced from $229.99, which would be cheap for something this big, down to $129.99.
That's amazing. It's 3 meters tall, isn't it?
In the old terms, it'd be about 8 foot.
8 foot, wow.
And about, I'd say about 2.2, 2.4 out of the pot.
Fantastic.
So Hiryu Camellia, $129.99.
Absolutely amazing. That is stupidly cheap value here on the Growers Direct flash sale. This one is so big we can't even fit it in the shop.
Now, if you want, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up one of these leaves and show it to you, one of these beautiful, this is just coming into colour. This is just coming into colour. Look at this beautiful leaf here. Now, if you wanted an all-time classic, this is a
Jeffers
super
Red,
duper,
is it? Or?
No, it's called Frank Jr. Red Point Maple.
Wow.
And it's a nice big advanced one. It's in a 20-inch pot, and it's and it was $400. Now it's over 3 meters tall. So this is ready to become the centerpiece in your garden, or maybe you want a couple of them on either side of the entrance of your property. There's only 3 of them available, so you need to jump in if you want to. But Acer Frank Jr. Red Point Maple, beautiful advanced tree, around 3 meters or 3 and a bit meters tall, just colouring now, beautiful autumn colour tree, and it's a type of red maple, $229.
$229 for that huge specimen.
3 metre tree.
Instant gratification in the garden.
The other thing is, what I emphasise is that we deliver for free. When you spend over $300, we deliver. Our delivery area is right out to Traralgon, down to Currumbara and Leongatha, right down the peninsula, right to the bottom of the peninsula, and then right over to Ballarat, right over to Geelong and south of Geelong, around the beaches and those areas there, and then right out to we deliver right out to Ballarat, and we deliver out to Bendigo, and all you have to do is spend $300.
For free delivery, yeah?
Yeah, free delivery, and this big green van will come out with a big photo of me on the side, and probably the worst feature of that van. Anyway, and it'll come out and it'll deliver.
It's an incredibly updated picture of you, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah.
It's a very, very modern picture.
So that Red Point Maple, if you spend $300, that 3 metre one could be delivered out to Traralgon, out to Maui.
Point of the story is we deliver pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, even Toolangata.
Yeah.
Yeah, for free if you spend over $300. Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at our next product here in the stupidly cheap categories.
Okay, so here we have, this is a fantastic plant. If you want to put something around your pavers, if you've got a shady corner where nothing will grow, these flower 365 days a year, and they're the most gorgeous. Let's have a close look at that. The most gorgeous little violet, a beautiful little violet. Let's have a look at the beautiful little violet flower, and those flowers just come all year round and grow it in the shade. They love the shade. Beautiful ground cover. Put it around your pavers or around your grow it as a border. Real easy to grow. It's a Australian native violet, and normally they're pretty pricey. We've got them down to $5.99 for a nice big plant in a 6-inch pot. So $5.99. There it is there. Really kind of mind-bendingly cheap.
Stupidly cheap.
Not
cheap. Not mind-bendingly yet.
Oh,
We're not there yet.
No, sorry about that.
All right, so it's the Growers Direct flash sale. All these plants are available right now. They are in limited quantities, as Chris just mentioned. You can head over to the22guru.com.au where you can purchase these plants right now, or you can call us on 039359 Our sales staff are on standby to take your questions as well and take your order.
Yeah, ring up and order now. Now, I've had people drive from right across Melbourne to get these, and they say, we've been looking everywhere. We couldn't get the foxtail fern anywhere. We've got beautiful bushy little 8-inch pots. And right now they're going out for, they're normally $50 each. We're going out for $24.99. So $24.99 for a foxtail fern. And these are a beautiful classy plant. Grow them in a pot, grow them out in the garden. Really, really great for the modern garden. Classy, beautiful plant, and stupidly cheap for $24.99.
Yeah, beautiful. And I think these were also, weren't they a popular choice at the show?
Yes, they were very, very popular.
All right, so
now,
$24.99
here we've got
now.
a white star creeper, and I better bring this up there. Now, your white star creeper, let's have a look at that. This is a gorgeous little one here. Your white star creeper is something that people plant it, as a border. They plant it around their pavers. It's a beautiful moss. It's like moss with beautiful little white flowers. I'll give you a close look at it. Have a look at that.
Yeah, that's great. Yep.
Now, normally, your local nursery, a 6-inch pot, this could cost you $13 or $14. But we've got them for $2.99. So $2.99, grab yourself a white star pratia, and it'll grow and spread like crazy. It's a beautiful ground cover, easy to grow. Anybody can grow it.
Lovely, and they're $2.99 at the moment. That's just nuts. Well, stupidly cheap to keep it in line with our Growers Direct flash sale categories.
Yeah. Now here we've got these Tanikas here are not in a 6-inch pot, they're in a 4-inch pot, and we've got them for $9.99. So normally you're paying in a 6-inch pot, oh no, they're $5.99. Sorry, $5.99. They're normally, now in a 6-inch pot, these are as big as a 6-inch pot.
These are 3-inch.
Yeah, in a 6-inch pot. In a 6-inch pot, these would normally sell, and these are the size of a 6-inch pot. These would normally sell for they'd normally sell for around $16. And so here you've got a good size, a really good size Tanika. It says 4-inch pot, but it looks a bit smaller, but beautiful big plants, and they're only $5.99. So $5.99, that's the cheapest Tanikas I've seen ever.
Love those.
For retail price, $5.99. Never seen them cheaper than that.
Great for landscaping, and at that price you could just buy a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
There is only a few though at that price. So
but you can get yourself 10 or 20 and get stuck into it. You know,
that's right.
To do a nice little native landscape.
And at $5.99 each, that's something you would want to boast to your mates about, I reckon.
Yeah, I bought my Lomandra Tanikas for $5.99. Yeah.
Do people actually do that? People boast about their gardens?
Well, yeah, they would. Look, so I've got a whole row of those Lomandra Tanikas, and they only cost me $5.99 each. Normally you're paying $20 for something like that. Anyway, so
leave Chris some likes and some loves for today's live too.
So here we've got Amethyst Falls. Now, Amethyst Falls, just a nice Moby purple kind of a wisteria. You grow it over the pergola, grow it up a pole, and sort of have it bush out and use it as a kind of a weeping tree, like you can turn it into a weeping tree. Now, this has and it has a beautiful show of purple flowers in springtime, and the purple flowers come before the leaves. So you've got this beautiful, you can grow it as a tree, grow it as a climber, this beautiful plant flowering in spring, and then what happens, as the weather warms up and it comes into leaf and everything like that, it spots with just different with flowers all through the summer. So where a lot of wisterias can be boring through the summer, this will give you a little splash of colour all summer long.
Lovely. And what's the price on those, Chris?
That is $25.99. Reduced from $49.99. So
yeah, that is. We are in stupidly cheap land now as the Growers Direct flash sale rolls along. Don't miss out on these amazing deals at the tutuguru.com.au or hellohelloplants.com.au.
Now here's one of the cutest little plants we've had here. This is called Leptospermum, which is tea tree, little bun. So it's a little bun tea tree, has lovely white flowers. Now if you're looking for a nice compact native, maybe you want to do a border, maybe you just want to scatter them through the garden. Beautiful white flowers in spring, little bit of sort of tea tree fragrance, lovely plant. And normally these sell for $16.99. These are $8.99. So $8.99 for a beautiful little, hard to get, classy little native plant.
And how big do they get, those ones, actually?
Oh, it's going to grow 80 or 90 centimetres wide and 50 or 60 centimetres
Oh, that's
tall.
nice,
Just
yeah. Nice
like,
little landscape sort
like,
of bush.
Yeah, like a nice little bun.
Hence the name.
Now here we've got the Crimson Century Maple. Now this is a really classy maple tree.
That one, yeah.
And this one here is about 2.4, 2.5 metres out of the pot.
Oh yeah, she's off the camera there. We can't even see
Lovely,
the top
healthy,
of it.
strong tree. And these normally sell for $229.99. We've got them for $129.99. So $129.99.
Yeah, $129.99. That's correct. Stupidly cheap.
And this is a grafted Norwegian maple. Now, where the claim to fame for this one has two claim to fame. First of all, it emerges with the richest, darkest purple foliage in spring, say sort of browny purples and reddy purples all through the summer, and then stays purple right through autumn, and right at the end of autumn it turns a brilliant orange before it drops. So fabulous autumn colour. And then the other claim to fame, it grows as a tall, narrow column. So if you want to, maybe you want them up the side of the driveway, maybe you need a clump of, nice, dramatic looking colourful trees out front of the house somewhere. These are great to have grown a clump of 2 or 3, and they don't grow too wide, and they love a little bit of a trim. So you can keep this as a beautiful, narrow, tall, purple column, a fabulous thing for landscaping with. And at $129.99, you can't go wrong. It's pretty much half price.
Yeah, very beautiful for contrasting in the garden, and especially that's already like a feature in your garden at that size for $129.99. I just do want to stress the limited quantities thing. That last one there, you've only really got a few of those available at that price. So if you do want to get them, you can call us right now, 03 9359 3331. The phones look pretty busy at the moment with the sales staff madly taking the orders from this live. But if you can't get through on the phone, you can go to the website helloplants.com.au or the22guru.com.au.
This is one's making me hungry. This is called spiced curry.
Are you going to eat that one today, Chris?
No, I don't think I will, but I think I might go get a curry pie after this.
Right, sounds
this is
good.
called spiced curry, and this is a beautiful Coleus. Now, Coleus are really good. You can grow them in a sheltered part of the garden, grow them in a pot, grow them in your your undercover area outdoors. Beautiful source of colour, and these ones here are only $8.99, and these will just put them into a bigger pot, give them a little bit of Osmocote, and these will just burst away and make the most beautiful, colourful splash in the garden for $8.99, reduced from $14.99.
Beautiful, absolutely, yeah, very cheap. We're in the stupidly cheap category, about to get to the mind-bendingly cheap category very shortly.
This is called Coleus Chipotle. And I love this one here. Look at this one here. Beautiful little blue flowers. I'll pick it up close. You can
Is it Chipotle, or how do you say that?
I don't
do you
know,
say Chipotle?
Yeah. I'd say this is Coleus Very Beautiful. Have a look at that.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, really
actually.
nice.
Keep it on
now,
that
this
one
would
there,
be a lovely plant to have in your undercover area. Not lovely plant in your shelter. Grow this in a pot, trim it up. It'll become beautiful and thick and bushy. Look, it sort of shimmers, doesn't it? There we are. There. So,
great colour.
And anyway, these are going out. You go down to your local nursery, you probably wouldn't find it, but if you could find them, they'd be $18 or $19. These are going out for $8.99.
Perfect. All part of the Growers Direct flash sale today. Incredible prices as we roll along through the stupidly cheap category. Some beautiful big bushy blueberries now. Now,
the thing is, blueberries, you normally go in to get a blueberry at a local store and you won't get much change out at $20. But you can boast to your friends about these. This is the Blueberry Northland. We normally sell them pretty cheap for $17.99. This is a beautiful blueberry and easy to grow. You'll have your own blueberries going in no time. $8.99. $8.99. Look at the size.
Fantastic.
Look at the quality. Are we stupidly cheap or?
This is stupidly cheap still, yeah.
Oh, right. I thought we might have gone to mind-bendingly cheap.
No, we're not quite there yet. That's not a typo though. Stupidly cheap at $8.99. Yeah, usually you'd pay $20 in a regular store for one of those.
Now here's the Blue Rose blueberry, and again $8.99. Now what I advise you to do if you're thinking of blueberries is buy one. We've got 3 blueberries. Buy 1 of each, or 2 of each, or 5 of each, or even 6 of each, or 10 of each, and go kind of self-sufficient. Go off the grid. Go completely off the grid. But you got oranges. But what else you had here today? Yeah, that's right. But if you bought even if you bought 1 each of these, you'd have blueberries over a long period of time, and they'd pollinate each other and produce more heavily. Rather than don't buy 2 or 3 to one sort. Mix them up, okay? So this is blueberry.
Absolutely.
Blueberry blue rose, beautiful blueberry. $8.99, reduced from $17.99.
That's it, absolutely. All right, let's keep moving along.
And then we've got the sunshine blueberry. Now what you can see here is you can see it's starting to autumn colour. You know, blueberries have beautiful flowers in spring and fabulous autumn colour, and then in between the flowers and the autumn colour you get beautiful blueberries. I don't think you could find a better bush to put in your garden. Blueberries are a very, very attractive bush, and we've got them here for $8.99. But what I was recommending is that if you're interested in the blueberries, buy the different sorts and have blueberries at all different times of the year.
There you go. So go completely off grid. Just eat blueberries, nuts and berries. Forget going to Coles and Woolworths, and you can just, for $8.99, you can get your whole garden going, can't you, Chris?
Yeah, that's right.
Did you hear what I said?
$8.99, you can go off the grid.
Off the grid. That's I said. Forget going to Coles and Woolies. Hey, just quickly,
And that's
we're getting
not sponsored by Coles and Woolies.
No,
Oh,
hashtag not sponsored.
No, sponsored by what's that other one? Audi. Isn't that
Audi.
sponsored by Audi?
No, it's Renault. Didn't we want sponsorship from? So sponsorship from Renault, isn't it?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Or Aldi. Aldi saying not go to Coles or Woolworths.
Oh, Aldi. Sorry, sorry. I thought you said Audi. Okay, yeah, good.
Aldi. Yeah, maybe Aldi sponsored the not go to Coles or Woolworths.
All right, we digress, guys. Just quickly though, we are getting some questions, and we apologise if we're not getting to your questions today. Chris does a live Q&A every Monday at 12 p.m. where he answers your gardening questions. So maybe we'll do a little bit of a longer one on Monday at 12 o'clock. Come along to that, guys, if you have specific gardening questions about your garden or things you're growing and you're not sure what's happening with them. We're more than happy to help, or you can call our sales staff right now, 03 9359 3331, and they'll be more than happy to answer any questions you might have. All right, let's get on to this next one, Chris.
Okay, look here, pin oaks brings back memories for me. When I was a little kid, my dad was a nurseryman, and he'd take us after church, he'd take us down to Camberwell in some of the streets there that are full of pin oaks, and we'd have to kneel down and instead of praying, we were actually picking up little little pin oak seeds.
Wow.
And little tiny nuts. And the beautiful, what I remember about them, they have beautiful autumn colour, they're a really beautiful tree. But what I learned about them as I grew up is that pin oaks are one of the best oaks of all. They're actually, they come from Portugal, and they grow naturally in sort of swampy, heavy crook kind of country. So they'll grow pretty much anywhere here. They seem to be drought hardy. They're fast growing, and they're a beautiful, rather than that big spreading oak shape, it's a beautiful upright shape. And here we've got one, and I think we've got only one of these, and only having one, I don't know why they made it so cheap, but instead of $229, this one here is $149.99. I'd just jump on the blower right now and see if you can grab it.
Yeah, there's only one, is it? Oh,
yeah, and this would make a beautiful, this could be a centerpiece for a garden. This could be in the middle of the driveway on your country property. That could be out the back door of your mansion. Beautiful tree. It's about 2.4 meters tall, a lovely advanced tree. And are we in the mind-bendingly cheap area?
Not yet. It's stupidly cheap still, but at that price, it might as well be in the mind-bendingly cheap.
Yeah, that's right. I think we'll have to talk to the person that categorised these.
Only one of those available, guys. At $149.99. Someone might purchase it right now.
So here we've got a Senkaku maple, and this is a nice big advanced Senkaku maple. It's a couple of meters tall. Now your Senkaku maple, all these stems on this turn bright red in the autumn, so beautiful, more crimson, sort of crimson. So now
goes like a pink colour, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like
and then they have pink and orange and yellow autumn colour. So it's just starting to turn yellow now, and you're starting to see a few pinks in it. So beautiful autumn colour tree. Probably the best maple of all in the winter with its crimson stems, and then when it comes into leaf in the springtime, you've got crimson stems and sort of pinks and yellows and creams in amongst the green. So lots of colour. Actually, if you Google Senkaku maple and hit the images and you see all the different colours there, you'll think a mistake's been made and you're looking at 50 different sorts of maples, and in actual fact you're just looking at a Senkaku maple. And these ones here have been reduced to $249.99. So you've got an advanced, established old maple for $249.99.
That's right, and there are only 3 of those available at that price as well. Fully established, having instant gratification in your garden in the Growers Direct flash sale.
Now here we have Grevillea Rosie's Baby, normally $16.99. Right now we've got it for $8.99. Now you can see this has beautiful sort of cream and pink flowers. Have a look at this label here. Beautiful, beautiful Grevillea.
Yeah, and then up behind you, Chris, there's a video too.
There's
which
lovely,
shows off the
lovely to add this to your native garden. But it's so pretty. You could probably put it in any sort of contemporary style garden. But this is a medium-sized bush, and reduced from $16.99 to $8.99. Really good, healthy, great plant.
All right, great. So what's the price on those?
$8.99.
$8.99 down from $16.99. All right, back to
now
larger trees here.
One of the classiest hedges or topiaries around is your Portuguese laurel. Really, really hardy. And also, if you live in frosty country and you're frightened to grow a ficus or a lily pilly because of the frost, think of Portuguese laurels. Portuguese laurels, and the thing that a Portuguese laurel does that other things don't do, it has this beautiful white flower that's like a sort of curve, like a cat's tail, a long sort of skinny sort of thing like that. And these ones here, normally $139.99. Right now they're $69.99. So $69.99 for a beautiful Portuguese laurel.
That is stupidly cheap.
And it's 5 foot tall, stupidly cheap.
Only a few of those available on our Growers Direct flash sale. You can order these right now on our website or give us a call.
Now, here we've got a capital pear. This capital pear is 2 meters tall. Now, capital pears, fabulous white blossom in spring, beautiful autumn colour, and they grow as a tall, narrow column. Lots of people have them up the driveways on country properties. Other people are putting them as screens across the back of their place to block out the units that are going up. So capital pears, fast growing, easy to grow, tough, and normally a 2 metre capital pear. Look, some places you'd be paying $200. Our normal thing is $129.99, but we've got them for $69.99. So if you wanted to mass plant them on your country property, get into it. These are the way to go.
Perfect. Only $69.99.
$69.99, 2 metre capital pear.
Yeah, almost, it's so big you can't barely see it on the screen.
You could plant those capital pears, and you say, mate, see them big advanced capital pears there? Bought them for $69.99 because I've got it in down at Hello Hello. I know where to go. I can get stuff cheap, you know.
Get your mates jealous
and your
with the sale.
Your mate will be green with envy.
That's right.
Drive him bloody crazy. Now, at any rate, so here we've got a slimline camellia, and it's called With Love.
Yeah, great.
And you could send me a With Love.
Yeah, send us some likes, and actually it does, all jokes aside, it does help the live get into the algorithm better so more people can discover it as well. And these are really good deals. You don't want people to miss out on these deals, do you? Unless you want to get them all yourself. Like, I mean, the customers in general who are going to purchase these, you know, they might not give us a like because they don't want the people to discover these hidden gems.
Yeah,
you know? That's another possibility.
So anyway, so here we have this. Now this is a slimline camellia. So if you wanted, we've been selling a lot of these lately because say you wanted to have you've just got a narrow garden bed and maybe it's a bit shady there. You've just got a narrow garden bed and you want something tall and skinny, something to block out the neighbours in a narrow garden bed. This is a slimline camellia. Now it's absolutely covered in buds. It's going to flower for the next 3 months with the most beautiful pink flower. It's a beautiful fluffy pink flower. And these ones here, they're a 13-inch pot, normally $129.99, reduced to $69.99, and they're about 4.5 foot tall, nice and bushy. It's called With Love. It's a fabulous pink, tall, skinny growing camellia.
Yeah, you can see the flower there behind you. All right, let's move along to the next product. In our stupidly cheap category on the Growers Direct flash sale. Yep,
now,
so what do we got here?
What we have here is a slimline avalanche camellia. Now you can see beautiful narrow form, covered. If you could look at this close, it's covered. I reckon there'd have to be, it's only a young plant, I reckon there's more than 100 buds here. So
yeah,
beautiful.
I can see them from here, incredible.
And anyway, so this one here,
it's covered in them.
It's called Avalanche, reduced from $129.99 to $69.99. So if you want flowers in autumn and winter, if you want a tall skinny plant, maybe as a specimen, or maybe you want it as a screen or a hedge along the back somewhere, block out the neighbours, tall and skinny, $69.99, Camellia Sasanqua Avalanche.
Yeah, they're just about to explode. And then Leah just commented here, promise us if we like the video, you'll do more sales like this one.
Oh, great, cool, okay, we certainly will.
I think Chris, I don't think Chris can say no to that.
Yeah, so what we've got here is Elijah Blue. Now this is a beautiful blue fescue grass, great as a sort of an accent plant to put into contrast. You can put it around, say you're doing a garden design, you put a feature in and you want that feature to really stand out, pop a few of these around the base and that brilliant blue will really make it stand out. So here we have beautiful blue, Elijah blue. Now $13.99 is the normal price. We got these for $7.99. Lovely blue healthy plants. Frost hardy, heat hardy, drought hardy, easy to grow, and a great little accent plant and a very neat type of grass.
Beautiful. All right, so now we're jumping over to the mind-bendingly cheap products.
So now we're in the mind-bendingly cheap. Like, nobody could understand how or why a person
it's not actually possible,
could grow and sell something like this and be possibly hoping to make some money at $2.99. So
no, they don't make money.
Look at the health, look at the quality of this here.
If you include taxes and
now,
GST.
I reckon if you went down to
the pot probably costs $2, doesn't it?
Yeah, if you went down one of your big chains, go down to one of your big chain stores and get yourself a green Dichondra, it won't be as big or green as healthy as this, and it'll be $12 or $14. These are $2.99. So $2.99. And
mind-bendingly cheap.
Use them as a ground cover, put them in around your pavers, make a Dichondra lawn. Imagine rolling on your own Dichondra lawn, fabulous. So there it is, beautiful Dichondra, and generally mind-bendingly cheap at $2.99.
That definitely is. Good way to kick off this category in the Growers Direct Flash Sale. These are all available right now on our website, or you can come in store. The website is the22guru.com.au or hellohellplants.com.au. How many do we have? Someone's asking. I think they're referring to the Dichondra repens.
We've got 70 available today.
70 at that price,
At that price today.
But then, you know, after that 70, we go back to $12.99, so it's an incredible saving.
Yeah, so here we've got the Leighton's Green conifer. Now this is something, you go down to your local store, ask them for 1 metre Leighton's Green. Now these are one of the most popular conifers in Australia because these can grow, if you plant this and look after this, in 2 years you can get this up 5 or 6 metres tall. And you can block out the neighbours they're great, because they're so thick and bushy, they're great to block out, noise. Like a mate of mine said, you know, they're so thick and bushy, you can't even hear the neighbour's dog barking. I said, really? He said, no, just pulling your leg. But they do help block out the noise, you know, they're pretty good. And anyway, but plant them about 1.2 to 1.5 metres apart on the country property, on the commercial property, on your rental property. These are fantastic. Now, normally I reckon you'd pay $30-40 for something 1 metre tall. These are in an 8-inch pot. And we're giving them away. This is mine. You try and work out how we're doing this. They're $10.99.
Wow. And again, only limited quantities of those.
And that's GST inclusive, so $10.99.
Yeah, snap those up if you need to do the Leighton Green Conifers hedge at $10.99 each. We're in the mind-bendingly cheap category here.
Yeah. Now, one of your high fashion plants at the moment is your chalk stick. Now, your chalk stick, great for that commercial property, great for that rental property.
Yeah, they were all through that Melbourne Garden Show as well, I think.
Yeah, chalk sticks everywhere.
In vogue.
So chalk sticks really in vogue. At any rate, these are normally $6.99. Now, I don't know how anyone did it, but these are $2.99. So $2.99.
Mind-bending.
Yeah,
prices.
Even if you go to your wholesale market, you won't get them for that.
That's right, Growers Direct Flash Sale, mind-bendingly cheap products you can order right now, limited quantities. Get on it while you can.
Now, what's been really hard to get is a nice forest pansy. And these are from a really, really good grower. And he's let us have 5 of them. So we've got 5 of these. Look at the beautiful foliage on these. And now these are the most beautiful tree. In springtime, they're covered in this amazing pink spidery flower. And as the flowers just start to fade, these leaves emerge amongst them, which are sort of a purpley black. And there's nothing like seeing bright pink and purpley black mixed together. And then as the flowers fade, they come into full foliage. And this foliage goes right through the summer, right into the autumn. And then right at the end of autumn, they become a kaleidoscope, every different colour you can imagine. All the leaves turn different colours. And I call them the kaleidoscope autumn tree. So blossom in spring, flower purple in spring, summer and autumn, and then an amazing kaleidoscope at the end. Fantastic plant, hard to get, normally $300 for this size. We got these for $169.99. and I think there's 5 of them available. So jump in and get one. This is a great
There's only
specimen
5 at
tree.
$169.99 if you love those. I remember growing up there was a forest of them, wasn't there, at the back of our house, like in Mount Denham. Was it those or was it something else?
No, something different, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, forest pansies, very beautiful, and they grow in almost anywhere, don't they?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Now here we've got Laura Pedalum Bob's Pink. Now Bob's Pink has a beautiful purple leaf, and these are going to flower right through the winter into spring with beautiful little pink spidery flowers. If you want a low, compact, really beautiful shrub, here it is. It looks great, and it's a classy sort of thing. Grow it with your magnolias, grow it with your ornamental pears, grow it under your autumn colour maple trees, grow it in your Japanese garden, clip it into a nice little ball. Fabulously versatile plant. Normally you'd expect to pay $30 for them. These are $10.99 for Bob's Pink. So $10.99, and they're an 8-inch pot. Like, they're not a 6-inch pot. They're not a tube or anything. They're $10.99.
Huge, yeah. For that price, it's great. Mind-bendingly cheap, of course. Growers Direct Flash Sale. All of these products are available right now for you to purchase.
Now we've got 3 apple trees. Give us that.
At crazy, mind-bendingly cheap prices,
Give us
right?
the works.
Let's have a look at that.
Yeah.
So you can go completely off-grid here if you like eating apples.
Yeah, and you could interplant them with blueberries.
Yeah, blueberries, apples, and even some oranges.
Yeah.
That we had earlier.
And maybe a lime to put in your Corona.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So anyway, so what you've got here is you've got dwarf apples, and I reckon, you know, like, these are grafted dwarf apples. You'd expect to pay $50 or something like that at your local nursery or big store for a nice 1 metre tall apple tree. These ones here are $10.99.
Yeah,
now,
that's crazy good.
I'm going to run you through.
What do they normally cost again?
Well, our normal price, what's our normal price, is normally $49.99.
So $50 usually.
Yeah, and they're $10.99. These are a proper grafted apple. Now what we've got is we've got dwarf sweet cheeks, which is a beautiful little tiny apple. The kids will love it. Grow this and they can take it to school for their lunch. They'll love it. It's a kid-size apple, but I think you might enjoy a couple yourself. And at any rate, here we've got Crisps Pink. Now this is basically a dwarf version of your normal pink lady apple. So a dwarf pink lady apple called Crisps Pink, and then we've got Bite Size, which is another mini apple. Now what I'm advising is, if you're buying these, buy 2 of them and they'll pollinate together much better. So
right, and they're grafted, so they should be stronger, right? Like in
that's right. Beautiful strong trees, and $10.99. Get yourself off the grid.
That's it. We should have called the live that.
Yeah, but imagine what you could do. Imagine what you do. Your girlfriend comes around, and you produce this beautiful little basket of bite-sized apples, and the kids come around and feast on them, and you say, "Bought that apple tree for $10.99." And they'll go, "My God." They'll be so envious. So these
our
are
editors are going to have a field day making that live replay there, Chris.
so they're definitely an item. $10.99, rare named apple trees for $10.99 is definitely an item that you could boast to your friends about.
Absolutely. All right, we're on the mind-bendingly cheap category here on the Growers Direct Flash Sale. And hurry on in, get these deals. I'm feeling
a little bit mind-bent myself. Now have a look at this here. What we've got here, I've got to go over the page actually. What we've got here is a beautiful flax. It's called Anna Red. Now Anna Red's a good one. It's got a beautiful colour to it. It doesn't grow. Now unlike your Cordylines, this will never develop a trunk and get too big. So it's a great way to put some right size colour, and this will give you colour 365 days a year. You'll find it incredibly tough. It's called Anna's Red, and we've got these for not $16.99. It actually, if you had something like that for $16.99, it would be cheap, but we've got them for $8.99. $8.99.
Anna Red.
And that is mind-bendingly cheap. Like, geez,
for that, they're lovely
stuff
size
like that for $24.99. Really beautiful plants for $8.99, and only a limited number. Now you could come down here, you could jump in the car, head down here right now and you could buy them. You could ring up on the phone and order them. You could go online, go to hellohello.com.au and you could order these yourself.
It's fantastic. Almost like prices from 25 years ago, isn't it?
That's right. And now,
You wouldn't
and the
find
other
them at
thing
this
is
price.
we've got from Traralgon to Bendigo and from Shepparton down to Geelong.
Free
we've
delivery.
got free delivery.
Yeah.
Even Seymour. If you live in Seymour, we've got free delivery. Yay, free delivery.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, that's right. Now here we've got another one. This is called Dark Delight. This one's a little bit taller. This would be great on your country property just as you're heading through the gate. If you put this in on either side of the gate on your country property and then put a nice little silver licorice in front of it and had sort of silver and dark delight on the back of it, absolutely fabulous. Now, if these were $20, it'd be reasonable, right? But the mind-bending price on the Dark Delight is $8.99. So $8.99, mind-bendingly cheap at $8.99.
That's right, and they were already cheap at $16.99, and
Yeah,
now they're
that's right.
mind-bendingly cheap at $8.99. That's right.
Now, here we've got
Limited quantities, though. I should stress that.
Now here we've got Pittosporum Wonder Screen. Now, the great thing about Wonder Screen is that it's naturally thick and bushy. Look how thick and bushy this is here. So this takes less trimming to get a thick and bushy hedge than any other Pittosporum. It's the hot, sexy new sort of Pittosporum that people are going for called Wonder Screen. And the problem with Wonder Screen is normally they're expensive. Little ones like this normally cost $30, but we've got them for $13.99.
Absolutely mind-bendingly cheap.
Mind-bendingly
On the Growers
cheap.
Direct flash sale today.
Nobody knows how we do it. I don't even know.
I think you've
Well,
lost your marbles, Chris.
I think we've got to talk to the accountant and see what's going on.
Yeah.
So
this
here
is
we've
not
got the fine leaf Myoporum. Now this is a great ground cover. Now Myoporum fine leaf, I've seen it cover. I remember during the last big drought, I was speaking to a bloke with a garden in Bendigo and he said, Chris, he said, there'd been, and they weren't allowed to water their gardens in Bendigo, they'd been dry for a couple of years, and he said, Chris, if it wasn't for the Myoporum, there'd be nothing green in my garden. He said, the only thing that grows in this terrible drought is Myoporum. So you can grow this in terrible soils, it'll cover an embankment, you can grow a lawn out of it, but the wonderful thing isn't its toughness, it isn't the fact that it'll cover a great big area. I always say plant 1 per square metre or 2 per square metre if you're in a hurry. But the great thing about this one here is that all summer long, in the heat of summer, it's covered in beautiful little white flowers that have the most heavenly fragrance. It smells like that expensive West Australian leatherwood honey. It smells like the beautiful leatherwood honey.
Wow.
And quite a strong fragrance. And it's all through the heat of summer for months and months and months. Beautiful fragrance.
And they're dropped down from what, Chris?
Anyway, so they're normally $12.99. We're pushing them out the door for $7.99.
$7.99 available right now as part of the Growers Direct flash sale. Mind-bendingly cheap products. This next one will definitely, what is it? It'll bend your mind.
Yeah, this will bend your mind. This is a 6-foot weeping cherry.
That's a huge one
In
too. I don't think we've had this one on the show.
In a lot of stores you could pay $240, $250.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Some stores would even charge you $300.
Yeah.
We're pretty cheap on these. We just charge $1.99 on these, right?
So we're already cheap anyway.
Yeah, we're already cheap. $1.99. We'd be the cheapest around. But these have been reduced, only a limited number, to $69.99.
No, $59.99.
Oh, $59.99.
Yeah.
Oh, 59. Sorry, mind-bendingly.
Yeah, it's
been
mind-bendingly cheap.
affected,
Your
yeah.
mind is already bended.
Yeah, $59.99.
There's only 20 of those at that price. I should probably stress that because that is actually a little bit too cheap for that size. And I reckon they'll sell out over the weekend, if not today.
Yeah,
at that
right.
price. So only 20
get
of
online,
those.
get online, and
Get on that plugger.
Yeah.
03 9359 333.
and don't forget free delivery from Traralgon to
Warrnambool. Oh,
Yeah.
is that correct? I don't know.
not quite Warrnambool. no, not quite Warrnambool. But from Traralgon to
So take that back.
From Traralgon to Bendigo, from Geelong to Ballarat,
All right,
down
there
the
we go.
peninsula, right down to Portsea.
That's pretty good. So yeah, $59.99 for those.
If Lindsay Fox is listening, we could actually do free delivery right down to Portsea.
There you go.
All you have to do is cough up $300, buy with $300 worth of plants, and you'll have that van with that good-looking bloke pasted on the side delivering down Portsea for you. So go for it, Lindsay. He's a keen gardener, Lindsay Fox. So anyway, now we've got the Cotinus grace smoke bush. Now Cotinus grace, you can see actually, I have to bring it up, it's the colouring in this is exquisite. Your Cotinus grace, everyone knows about your purple smoke bush, but people don't know about Cotinus grace. Cotinus grace has this strange mix of purples and pinks. It's very, very interesting, and it's a rare one. It's not a seedling grown one, and you actually, if you were to look at the label here, but you've got this amazing colour in spring, you've got amazing colour in summer, and then in the heat of summer, when this is probably developed, have this sort of incredible haze of kind of smoky kind of flowers over the top of it, and then you've got this electric orangey, pinky red kind of autumn colour that's unbelievable. And this is basically a big bush or a very small tree, Cotinus grace, and this is a sort of a rare, hard to get kind of a plant. And we've got
There's only a few of them available too at this price that you're about to mention.
Reduced from $79.99 to $34.99. Now I don't know how that could occur, but anyway, it's mind-bending.
Yeah, it's a very classy looking plant. Is that growing full sun, Chris? The Cotinus grace?
Yes.
Okay.
Loves a hot sunny spot, and I think it's one of those plants that colour best in a nice hot sunny spot. Loves a bit of deep soil. Now what we've got here is we've got Cousin It.
It's Growers Direct flash sale, guys.
Yeah,
don't miss out on these
now,
plants.
These are, now if you were doing a garden, now that's another thing. Did you notice these at the show? Cousin It's.
Yes, I did
Cousin
actually.
It's,
Yeah. That was another one of
It's,
those trendy sort of plants.
Yeah, Cousin It's are in. That's
they're in
that's
now.
the word
you
from the
predicted it, I think, because you were really going from 5 or 6 years ago.
Yes, that's right.
I love
them. I love the colour. And what I love about these is that Cousin It, have a look at the size of these ones here. These are, if you're making an instant landscape, if you want something happening fast, these are a fabulous size. You know, and the thing is that they're reduced from $69.99 to, the grower must really want to clear these, $30.99. That, like, there'd be some sort of selling little tiny ones for that price. But look at the enormous size of them. But what I love about these can form a ground cover. They're a tree. They're actually a tree that grows flat on the ground. They're what you'd call a prostrate tree, and they can cascade over a wall, cascade over an embankment. You can do a ground cover, do a large expanse. In my garden designs, I often do large expanses of these around the main feature that I'm building. So great way to flesh out and build out a garden design. And at $30.99 you can afford to buy a few of them, and these are so big, they're enormous. Have a look at this, they'll give you an instant effect. So Cousin It are now officially in.
And they're mind-bendingly cheap. They're officially in and mind-bendingly cheap as part of our Growers Direct flash sale. Thanks for all the comments, guys. We're really loving it. Sorry we haven't been able to answer everyone's questions here today, but again, the live Q&A with Chris is every Monday at 12 p.m. We can ask him any and all of his gardening questions.
Now what we have here, and I'm going to do a close-up on the leaf. This is an Okagami maple. It's a type of Japanese maple. It's a grafted Japanese maple. Now this is kind of purple in spring, purples and reds and browns through the summer, and the incredible crimson autumn colour. But look at that exciting leaf. It's a beautiful leaf. I had to give you a close-up of that leaf there.
And we've got them on the screen behind you as well, as you can see the different colours.
Yeah, and so beautiful, rich, purpley, burgundy reds through spring, summer and autumn, and then brilliant bright red in the autumn. And it's a full-size, upward growing Japanese maple. So if you wanted a big, colourful Japanese maple in your garden, here it is, and it's called Okagami. Now expect to pay $229.99, and I think the grower must really want to clear these. He's got 5 of them out, and he's done them for $109.99. Now remember, these are pretty big, a couple of metres tall, but if you're spending over $300, we've got free delivery over a really big section of Victoria.
We've only got 5 of those at that price, by the way.
Yeah, and $109.99. That's very, very cheap.
More than half price. It's probably less than wholesale at that size.
Yeah. So here we are. We're in the mind-bendingly cheap section of the sale, and what we have here is we have autumn red. People love their red maples. This one's just starting to colour. You can see nice little red leaf here. So this is going to give you weeks and weeks of beautiful autumn colour. There's your red leaf there. Have a look at that. Beautiful red leaf. And at any rate, nicely filled out advanced tree. And these are normally $199.99, and this is now $89.99. It's 2 meters out of the pot, beautiful and bushy. Plant that, in a couple of years you'll have a spectacular feature in the garden. Even plant a couple of them.
Lovely. So they're reduced from $200 basically down to $89.99 as part of the Growers Direct flash sale today. Mind-bendingly cheap products.
Now here you've got, this
might get you to go back in there, Chris.
This is an advanced tree, and this is one of my favourite maples. And the reason why I love this maple, it's a hybrid maple. It's a cross between a silver maple, which is perhaps one of the toughest maples in the world and one of the fastest growing maples, with a red maple, which is the most colourful maple. So by crossing the two, this gives you colour, speed and toughness, and you can grow this in the hottest and most difficult spots, like like in northern Victoria, where a red maple might just pack up and keel over. This one here will flourish and grow like crazy. And you can see it's just starting to colour. Beautiful autumn colour, fast, very, very erect. And this one here is about 2.6, 2.8 metres tall, a real advanced tree. And it's not $199, it's $89.99. So $89.99 for an advanced Jeffers red maple. I think possibly for most, if you're in the lowlands, the hot country, this is the best red maple you can get.
Absolutely incredible. As part of the Growers Direct flash sale today, you can come and visit us, 1477 Sydney Road, Campfield. We're open all weekend long, and we're open all the school holidays, aren't we, Chris?
That's right, yeah.
And the Easter long weekend. Well, that's still a couple of weeks away, but
this Easter I'm opening up every day. Every day this Easter I'm opening up for doing garden designs. So every day over Easter, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you can come in and get one of the free garden designs. You pay a little deposit and get your money back when you buy your plants.
Fantastic.
So what we've got here is the Burgundy Euonymus. Now what happens is that from time to time I get somebody come in and say, look, I want a Japanese maple, but I want one that doesn't lose its leaves. Well, unfortunately they haven't made one like that. But this is my Japanese maple substitute. When people say that to me, I suggest an Euonymus Burgundy. And the reason, an Euonymus Burgundy is a fairly compact sort of a tree, but it's a tree that loves a trim. So if you get this Euonymus Burgundy and you give it a bit of a trim, you can keep it small and neat, and in springtime when it grows, it gets covered in beautiful burgundy spring colour, and it'll keep that right through the summer. In autumn it's starting to turn a bit green, but it's a very delicate, beautiful, native, hardy tree, but sort of delicate and beautiful at the same time, and it really does the job of an evergreen Japanese maple. And it's called.
And what are we selling those for, Chris?
We're giving them away for 60.
Practically.
What
is it?
Mind-bending this by $69.99, and it's an advanced 2 metre tree, so $69.99.
And they usually cost what in the store? $160.
Now here we have a red dragon Japanese maple. Now this is one of the reddest of maples, beautiful tree, and I'll turn it around so you can get a better look at it. Now this tree here, it's got a 2-year-old head on it, it's got about a 5-year-old stem, it's about 7 years of age, and this is a red dragon, beautiful red maple, and we've only got 3 of these available.
Usually what, $500 or something for that? Or?
Oh yeah, 400, 500, something like that, but this is really a collector's maple. This is the sort of thing that you don't have to drive up into the hills and find some old bloke who's grafting them or something like that, pay a fortune for it, and hear some story about how rare they are. But basically, beautiful red maple, and it's only $189.99. So
wow.
$189.99.
There's only 3 of those guys at $189.99 as part of the Growers Direct flash sale. Today we're in the mind-bendingly cheap products. You can order any and all of these products now. This one here has got an autumn
colour, and this one here is called Hanamatoi. Now Hanamatoi is a real collector's item. This one doesn't look much at the moment because it started to autumn colour early, but what you'll see, look at this beautiful, in springtime it has white and red flowers, and now as we're going into autumn, white and red foliage. Now it's got amazing pinks, and what you'll find with these is that they have multicoloured, they have patches of all different colours in the foliage, and this will develop a beautiful full head and be very, very multicoloured and beautiful. And this one here, Hanamatoi, reduced from $4.99 to $279. So $279, and that's probably got about a 7-year-old base, and it's got double grafted with a 3-year-old head. So really a very, very decent sort of maple for $279.99.
Yeah, if you consider the reduction or the price drops on these particular plants, it really is mind-bendingly cheap. compared to like this next one in particular.
Now here we have a 20-inch Orangeola. Now Orangeola tends to hang straight down, beautiful shape, and it has and this has incredible sort of pinky orange colour in the springtime, and then sort of beautiful reds and oranges in the autumn, and it cascades straight down. Very, very beautiful leaf, beautiful shaped tree. Give this another 18 months and this will be thick and bushy and cascading right to the ground, and reduce from $549.99 to $279.99.
Yeah, that's actually crazy. Well, mind-bendingly cheap, I should say. And then Chris, do you deliver to Ohio?
To where?
Ohio.
Ohio. We're working on it.
Free delivery to Ohio when you spend over $300.
Yeah, that's right. Why did I ever leave Ohio?
Yeah,
eh?
Unfortunately, no. For the person asking that question, but we would love to. One day, maybe.
I reckon if you spend over 30 grand, we'd do free delivery to Ohio.
30 grand.
We would pack up one of those sponsored by Renault vans.
Or sponsored by Qantas or something.
Yeah.
Get us over there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So anyway, we'll work on it. So what we've got here is a blue Atlas cedar. Now this is if you've got if you want to have a really classy contemporary garden, the way to have a really classy contemporary garden is plant a large golden tree, like say like a golden elm or a Kelly's gold maple. Then plant a large purple tree like a copper beech or a crimson king maple, and then plant a beautiful blue silver tree. And this is the one to have. This is your blue cedar. Now the great thing is to grow a nice big blue spruce kind of takes a lifetime. So normally when you plant a blue spruce you do it for the grandkids. But this one here, you can do this one for yourself. You'll find this to be quite vigorous. This is a Cedrus atlantica glauca blue cedar. And this one here is reduced from $1,000 to $399, and we've got two of them available.
Wow!
So if you've got
more than half price for this.
If you've got a country property and you want to have an enormous blue tree, and maybe you want to make it continue, put in a yellow tree and a purple tree. If you do those three things, I used to garden up in the hills, and I noticed that some of the gardens I gardened in had that classic look, and other ones didn't. And I tried to think about what made them look classic and amazing, and I decided that all the ones that looked classic and amazing were the ones that had the blue tree, the purple tree and the gold tree all planted within some vicinity of each other. It's the way to make a garden look really, really contemporary and classy and fantastic. And here's the key to it, it's your blue Atlas cedar. That will give you the big beautiful blue tree very, very quickly.
That's one of the ticket items from the mind-bendingly cheap category, isn't it really?
Yeah,
like
that's
that reduction of price is crazy.
$600 knocked off.
Yeah, $600 off. There's only two of those available. We are getting a lot of questions through on the live, so I do want to thank everyone for their questions, and sorry if we haven't gotten to everybody's questions. We do a live question and answers with Chris every Monday
Let's
at 12
finish
p.m.
this and just tail off with a few questions.
See if we can do any at the end. Yeah.
So Avon View Lavender. Now Avon View Lavender is great. Like lavender, people will tell you that lavender doesn't last forever. Lavender only lasts for a certain number of years, and Avon View Lavenders is one of the longest lasting lavenders. I think you'll get 7, 8 or 9 years out of one of these, and these have beautiful purple flowers on them for a real lot of the year. So they have beautiful purple flowers for 5 or 6 months of the year. Lovely silver grey foliage, great for a hedge, great as a specimen, great in the cottage garden, and really great for $10.99. So this is not a 6-inch pot, this is an 8-inch pot, beautiful big plant, $10.99. Reduced from, so mind-bendingly cheap, reduced from $26.99.
Yeah, nice, big and bushy. All right, let's move along to the next product here on the Growers Direct Flash Sale. We've still got a few to get through in the mind-bendingly cheap categories.
So here we've got Syzygium green Irish moss. This is a beautiful thing. We've got a video up about these, about the legend of them in Ireland, haven't we?
Yeah, that's right. The hot summers in Ireland that don't exist.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
I think that was the tale.
Yeah, that's right. It's something about leprechauns and stuff. Anyway, so beautiful green, cool green, beautiful bit of moss that they can grow in the sun, grow it almost anywhere, and this will become a lovely mound of green moss. And these have been reduced from $21.99 to $10.99, mind-bendingly cheap, $10 knocked off them. Beautiful plants.
Beautiful, mind-bendingly cheap green Irish moss. All right, let's get along to our next product here in the Growers Direct Flash Sale. All of these products are available to purchase right now online at hellohelloplants.com.au.
Now here we have white thyme. Now white thyme is a, you make a beautiful lawn out of this. You can see lovely white flowers in the summer. Amazing displays you can make with this. And these ones here, white thyme, you know, like your local nursery, white thyme can be $14, $15, $16 or something like that for a nice 6-inch pot. And here we've got them for not $12.99 is our normal price, but $5.99. So $5.99 for white thyme. And that'll make a beautiful ground cover.
$5.99 from $12.99, right?
Yeah,
that's crazy good. Only a few
mind-bending, not crazy, mind-bending.
Mind-bendingly, I'm sorry. I should say mind-bendingly cheap. I just got a question, where are you located? I guess we can quickly answer that. We are at 1477 Sydney Road, Camberfield.
Yeah, not far. Like if you're like way out in Victoria somewhere, we're actually not far from Tullamarine Airport. You know, like it's 10 or 15 minutes from Tullamarine Airport. So if you want to understand geographically where we're at. So now we've got white Kufia. Now, if you bought these for $19.99, look at the beautiful white flowers here. We'll have a look at this here. I used to call this stuff bloomin' box. Back in the old days, we used to call this bloomin' box because it's like a box, but it has blooms. At any rate, if you could get these for $19.99, you'd be doing pretty well. But right now, they're $10.99. So $10.99 for white Kufia.
Beautiful. All right, let's move along to our next product. That's white Kufia there, down to $10.99 on the Growers Direct Flash Sale. What have we got here next?
Now, these are fabulously cheap. These are reduced from $5.99 to $2.99, and they're the Carpogrodus Hot Pink. Now, this is a native plant that you can use down at the beach house. It gets covered in beautiful pink flowers, but it'll grow anywhere with no water. In crook soil, it's the sort of thing you can use to cover anything, cover a mound of earth, a bankment, anywhere, and then all through winter and early spring you're going to have these beautiful fluffy big purple flowers and lovely foliage, and you can turn that sort of old mound of earth, dried up mound of earth out the back into a bit of beautiful colour with Carpogrodus Hot Pink for $2.99, so very, very cheap to do. And you'll find these will come on and grow like crazy, and they'll grow all year round with that water.
Super cheap as part of the Growers Direct Flash Sale mind-bendingly cheap category.
Now, if these were $12.99, if I stood up and said these are $12.99, you'd think, well, that's pretty cheap.
Well, that already seems mind-bendingly cheap, doesn't it?
Yeah, mind-bendingly cheap, but try $5.99.
Wow.
Dianella Cerulean.
And how many of those we got? We've only got a few of those at that price.
Yeah, not too many. So $5.99.
$5.99. You want to say anything about them, Chris? Or
it's a hardy Australian native grass. What I like about the Dianella, it has beautiful blue flowers, and it has a lush green leaf, and it keeps that lush green leaf even in the hot, dry times of the year. A lot of grasses shrivel and go all ugly in the hot times. This stays green and lush and beautiful with a minimum of care and a minimum of water.
Beautiful. All right, let's move along to the next one here. Growers Direct Flash Sale.
Now, if you can remember the Beverly Hillbillies, and they were driving down an avenue in Hollywood, and they were surrounded by Washington palms, and you go to LA, you go to Hollywood, and they're growing in cracks in the concrete. They're everywhere, and at any rate, this is a great palm. If you live out in the country and you want to have a palm tree they grow natively in Palm Springs, which is probably one of the hottest spots in the world. I went out to Palm Springs and it was 50 degrees. Wow. And these things absolutely thrive out there. So basically, a lot of people, they come in here and they buy the tropical palms and they wonder why they shrivel up out in Shepparton or Bendigo or Ballarat or something like that. But these ones here, because they come from the desert, they'll take the frost. They'll take, I think, frosts out in Palm Spring get down to about -8, -10.
Wow.
Because out in the desert, they'll go up to 55 degrees in the summer. They'll take the terrible hot winds that they call them El Nino or whatever they call it. They have a terrible hot wind out there. They take all of that. So this is the toughest palm. It's the palm that's best suited to Victorian conditions because we have hot and we have cold, we have frost and we have poor soils, and this will take the lot. Give it a bit of water, it'll grow like crazy. Give it no water, it'll live forever. But these make a beautiful centerpiece. Normally something like this you'd expect to pay $129.99. We're doing them for $49.99. Are beautiful palm trees, and it's the right palm tree for Victoria.
That is
It's
fantastic.
called a cotton palm, a Washington palm, a Mexican cotton fan palm. It's called so many names, but here it is, $49.99.
$49.99 as part of the Growers Direct flash sale. Mind-bendingly cheap. All right, let's look at the next product here.
So here we've got a 12-inch agave. Now this is if you've got a where I use these quite often. If you say Melbourne is full of tall buildings now with people with balconies up 20 floors and things like that, and the wind up there is unbelievable. So if you wanted to have a beautiful specimen in a pot, in a hot, windy, dry, terrible situation, you cannot beat this plant here. I've put them up on the rooftops of the tallest buildings in Melbourne in gardens, and they're really, really tough. They're fantastic, but grow them anywhere. If you want something tough, something that you go on holidays for 3 weeks and you water it before you go, and when you come back it's got a few little wrinkles in it, give it another water and go till it's perfect again. So agave attenuata, normally $69.99, now $29.99 that's for advanced size in a 12-inch pot. So nice big agave attenuata, $69.99.
All right, it's all part of the Growers Direct flash sale. We've got a big ticket item here.
So here you've got your claret ash 12-inch pot, reduced from $120. Now this is the one with the claret, which is your purple sort of your claret coloured foliage. And these are nice big plants for $39.99. So 12-inch claret ash, $39.99.
Yeah, you can't even see the top of that. It's so big.
Yeah, that's right. They're beautiful, beautiful value. If you've got a country property, or maybe you just want a big shade tree in the backyard, at $49.99, your 12-inch claret ash is mind-bendingly cheap.
Crazy. $39.99 for that huge specimen right there. Mind-bendingly cheap. Growers Direct flash sale.
Now,
sale on now.
In springtime, people go burlesque for a snowball bush.
What's that mean?
Burlesque means berserk.
Berserk, okay.
Yeah. And anyway, so your snowball bush, there we are, there's your snowball bush there. What'll happen, these ones here will have a few snowballs this spring, they're mature enough, but plant these in a couple of years, these will be a couple of meters tall, beautiful big bush or small tree, lovely arching branches, covered in these magnificent snowballs. Absolutely beautiful. Just in springtime, one of the most wonderful things around.
And
so your snowball bush is normally expensive, normally hard to get. $41.99 is what you'd expect to pay for an 8-inch. These ones here are $16.99. $16.99 and for a nice 3-foot tall snowball bush.
There you go. If you've just joined us, we've got our Growers Direct flash sale on right now. We are live with these deals. You can purchase them right now from our website or call us up.
Maya lemons are great. They're sort of a small lemon, and they're not quite as sour as some lemons. They're that slightly sweeter lemon, and we've got them here for reduced from $79.99 to $19.99 in a 10-inch pot.
What? Yeah, hang on, is that a typo, Chris?
No, that's not. That's the actual reduction down to $19.99. I think the grower wants to clear them out.
And they're grafted?
Yeah. No, they're not. They're cutting grown, which makes them into a dwarf. Like your grafted ones grow bigger, your cutting grown ones are more dwarf.
Incredible. All right, well there you go, $20. You can definitely live off the grid with these prices.
Right. Okay. So here you've got your Glauca pencil pine in a 6-inch pot. And we've got them for $8.99, reduced from $16.99 to reduced from $19.99 to $8.99. Yeah. Now, Glauca pencil pines are fast growing. They're a really, really good pencil pine. Now these, basically, if you planted these properly and looked after them, in 1 year they'd be 1.5 meters tall. In 2 years you'd have them 3 meters tall. And if you wanted to grow them up the side of the drive, if you want to block out the neighbours, if you want an avenue on your property, no matter what you want, Glauca pencil pines are fantastic for what you to achieve what you want. They're fast, they're tough, and really, really good. And at $8.99, it's a bit like shoplifting, really, mind-bendingly cheap.
It's mind-bendingly cheap. Someone just quickly just answered a question. They were asking how many snowball bush we have at that price for the Growers Direct flash
We've
sale.
got 30 of them.
30, there we go.
30 snowball bushes.
All right, next one here.
So here we have Agapanthus dwarf blue. Now this is a beautiful. These are beautiful Agapanthus. They don't self-sow or go wild like a normal Agapanthus. They flower for months and months and months, and even when they're not flowering, they have lovely foliage, and they make a sort of the foliage are almost like a liriope, and they'll make a beautiful border even when they're not in flower. So you can have them, grow them as a border, spot them through your cottage garden. Fabulous plant, and normally they're pretty pricey. Normally they're $13.99. These ones here are $6.99. So $6.99 for a baby blue Agapanthus.
Beautiful. It's all part of the Growers Direct flash sale. Mind-bendingly cheap plants available right now to purchase off our website.
Here's something. Plant a row of these up your drive or up the garden path. Plant them, 1.5 meters apart. They'll grow into a beautiful lush green ball. Fabulous plant to have in the garden. Really tough, easy going. And you'll be able to boast to your mates. Normally they're $49.99. He'll think they're worth $50, and you'll say, I bought them for $24.99 at a lower low. Because
you're sipping on your Corona with a little bit of lime in there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So you'd be sipping on that Corona. You'd be off the grid with your dwarf apples, and you'd be saying to your mate, I'm off the grid. I've got this lime. I grew it myself in my Corona, and I bought these standard ficuses for $24.99 because I've got a bit of an in down there.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, they're limited quantities, so you do need to hurry up.
And the way to keep this wholesale to yourself is not to do any likes. If you do likes, other people will come in and
if you like or love this live, you'll violate the terms of it. Isn't that right, Chris?
That's right. Yeah, you won't be able to keep it to yourself.
That's right.
And then you'll go over to your mate's house and say, "Look at these plants I bought here."
But if you are enjoying the live, we would like some love,
your mate
some
could
likes,
do,
or whatever they're called.
If you share this, your mate could be doing you in, couldn't he?
Growers Direct flash sale. It's the last product, I believe. Is it? Oh no, it's not. Yes, it is. Last product, and then we'll try and answer some questions. We've got 2 minutes left.
Now, everybody wants a lily-pilly hedge. It is a really cheap entry point into the lily-pilly hedge game. These are Acmena dwarf lily-pillies, normally $12.99. These are ones that the bugs don't eat. The frost doesn't kill them. They're really, really tough, and they don't grow too big. If you just want to have a 2.5 meter hedge, you don't want a big towering tree, Acmena dwarf lily pilly, and they're $6.99. Beautiful little dwarf lily pillies for $6.99. Mind-bendingly cheap.
Perfect. All right. Well, that concludes our Growers Direct flash sale and our mind-bendingly cheap category. We have 4 categories there, so all of these products are available to purchase right now in store, 1477 Sydney Road, Campbellfield, or you can head over to our Growers Direct flash sale page, which you can see up on the screen there. Just head over to hellohelloplants.com.au or the tutuguru.com.au, and you'll find the banner for that page there where you can actually just purchase them online right now. And or you can call our sales staff.
What's the phone number? We've got a panel of people
call our sales staff. They're already on the calls probably from these Growers Direct flash sale customers trying to eagerly purchase. There was only one of some of these products. So the number's 039359 3331. But we'll also have this live. If you missed any of the live from today, we'll have it up on YouTube. As soon as this live is down, you can head over to our YouTube channel, Hello Plants, and check it out.
And all these plants are going to be available on sale till next Friday. Next Friday, we're going to do another Grower Direct flash sale. And so we're going to leave them up until they're sold out. So when they're sold out, you miss
out, yeah.
But we'll leave them up until they're sold out, right through until next Friday, and then we'll take all of these specials down next Friday. So you've got the more secure you are, the quicker you get in and buy now, the more secure you are to get them.
Yeah, I mean, some of these deals were crazy. Like there was some, I mean, they're all crazy, but there was some that were really crazy.
Well, we had crazy, we had mind-bending.
Oh, we were meant to answer some questions. All right, we'll do our best quickly. We've only got 1 minute left.
Oh, no, let's
here, we all love you, Chris. There you go.
Oh, thank you very much.
That's not really a question.
Yeah.
You want to save it for the questions? Let's do just one here. I want to answer this one. For Sarah asks, hello, how do you trim and maintain the maple. I don't know which maple though. That's not going to help, is it?
So say you bought one of the red maples or your Jeffers red maple. That in the winter time you can prune them really, really hard. You can chop them back really hard and keep them as quite a compact but beautiful tree in the garden. So you can cut them really, really hard. They call it coppicing. If you were to Google coppicing on the website, you could find out about trimming your Jeffers red or your red maple.
Beautiful. And then we've just put the QR code up on the screen for those of you who have a smartphone, or if you're watching on your smartphone, I don't know how you do it, but if you're watching it on a computer, you can scan that on your smartphone or take a screenshot. A very smart editor in the background here giving me some advice, but you can basically use that QR code to get over to the page and start purchasing now. I think we'll leave the other questions for the live Q&A on Monday.
Yeah.
One more?
Two more. Let's do
we'll do two more real quick. All right, so we're going a little bit over. It's all right. So I believe we had one actually earlier in the live. I can't find it, but there was a lady asking, I'm not sure if she's still with us. She was just asking about her Irish moss having holes in them, starting to grow some holes, a little bit yellow. Would that be a feed problem or?
We had, in that really hot bit of summer, we got them growing in Shepparton, and we got little sunburn holes in them. And what I recommend is fertilise them with some Osmocote, and they'll come back. The ones that have sunburned have come back really quickly with the cooler weather.
Beautiful. And then
so I'd get a bit of feed, make sure they're well watered, and put a bit of Osmocote on them.
Yeah, beautiful. No, we've answered that one. We're just looking for one more. Let's see. That's the one we just answered. Oh, here's a good one. All right, so how far apart should you plant the big gem magnolia if you want to make them into a hedge?
I'd go about 1.6, 1.8.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll get them covered fairly quickly, but not be too close.
All right, there we go, guys. We'll have to leave the live there. So live Q&A with Chris Monday, 12 p.m. if you want to ask him any questions about your gardening or
even
any personal questions.
Yeah, personal questions. Yeah, no worries. We'll make it exciting, eh?
All right, good. And thanks to all the team. They've all run away now. But
thank you very much. I want to thank everybody. We've had this is a real team effort to put 100 specials together in the course of a week. 100 new fresh specials. All in a whole.
There's about 6 people behind the scenes making it happen, isn't there? The lives.
Yeah, well, actually,
probably more actually.
Yeah, really, all together, there's about 7 or 8 people. There's Tanya down in the orders area, dealing with getting everything moved here and dealing with the growers and everything like that. So you've got people in the orders area. It's quite a big project.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to leave it there. So thank you so much for joining us, and Chris, I'll let you have the last word.
Thank you. See you later.